Back here live on the A7FL playoffs. Here's where we stand. The BIC got the win just before the start of this game. They walked it off against the Renegades. They'll face the winner of Siquid in the Stealth, and right now the Animals and the Watchmen battle to see who will face off against the Insomniacs or the Gold. Get yourself protected with a Gator Skin Shiesty. Use the code A7FL10. A7FL25, pardon me, for 10% off at GatorTech.com. In motion, 1st and 10. The handoff. Oh, my goodness. Nick Mays, the mean machine.
Listen, I'm telling you, this little rivalry between these two, we're going to see it in this game. This is a playoff rivalry. Even the colors are, like, contrasted right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Well, and in the first play of the game, they put Amari Thomas almost to try to use that extra hatred for a former compatriot against the Watchmen, and then they sneakily handed off to Kwani Morgan on the kind of counter inside, and Nick Mays is right there to stop that trickery.
2nd and 12, and
looks like Amari Thomas back again.
In motion, play action. Tender steps up, throws it. Caught off the hands.
What in the... What?
Not what you want. It will be 3rd and 12. Not able to hold on to that one. And you see Kasim Perry and David Tender talking things over.
Tender's able on the play action. This is the first play to give to Morgan in the middle of the field.
Ricardo Freeman getting involved on that one, too.
Yeah, everybody's there. We're not running. You guys are not running the ball today. But the throw was to the right guy from Tender, but because he had to adjust his feet, it just hung in the air too much.
I can see Tender running around here.
It'll be 3rd and 12.
Watch the bottom of your screen, but Tender steps up, throws, and that is off the hands again. That time off of Kwani Morgan. And the Animals here not able to hold on to the ball. It'll be 4th and 12.
Well, they still have a shot here on 4th because it looks like they're going to go for it. And either Will is dancing and doing the roll, or there might have been some kind of issue there. But on 4th and 12, you see what David Tender's skill set is. His eyes are always downfield, even with the rush in his face, and he makes good decisions. But sometimes, even when he makes the play, it's difficult because the rush gets to him quick enough that receiver's not ready, and now it's 4th.
On 4th down, Tender will get on his bicycle. He will find the sideline and find the first down.
I don't think he got it, but
This is Mr. Marketable.
I told you about the bottom of the screen. There was an opening.
He took it. Don't know if he got it, but man, oh man, it looked good.
It looks like they gave him the first down. They'll keep it moving.
What? Listen, if we watch that play again, just tell me at what moment do you think that this possibly could be a positive play for the Animals? Because I see nothing but yay situation if you're a quarterback.
It's his escapability in that.
It's
steps,
Bucks on the field. So unless it's
I am confused.
Change positions.
So it seems like it was 4th down and a turnover on downs.
What?
We'll see where Tender.
Just how is he even able to get almost 10?
It looks. I don't know.
Well, he got 10. He didn't get 12. That's the case there.
He didn't clear the sticks.
Yeah, if he needed 12, he didn't get 12.
I don't know. If anybody's having trouble watching this now, they got to get their eyes checked because you can't miss the Watchmen jerseys now.
He has to cross the 32. Ooh, yeah,
no,
he's
out.
out.
He doesn't cross it. There's no question.
Not if Matt Riddick wasn't just in earlier, right?
Right.
That's even easier.
Right.
It's still tough. I'm sure the reps had to double check.
This is not a challenge you want to use early on, but this is a great showing from the Watchmen defense.
I'll say this about the Watchmen. Yes or no, guys, and correct me where I'm wrong. A lot of times, Watchmen playing on the road in Jersey takes a little bit of time for them to get started, whether that's them feeling out the team that they're playing or they have to adjust and get their – they've had plenty of extra time to get ready, to get out of the car, to stretch.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like the Watchmen at this point are from Jersey. They're too comfortable playing here. I haven't seen the Watchmen come to Jersey and be uncomfortable playing. But even when I played against the Baltimore guys, they play here like this recently, is their second home.
And maybe we send Cole on a homework assignment, but they seem to start slower on the road. This is a great start to have the Animals, after a really good return, to go 3 and out.
Yeah.
4 and out, technically. But there goes that man, and that's Trey Baskerville.
Trey
and he's just a
Baskerville
nightmare.
standing out like a sore thumb. OG Buck behind center. He will hand it off.
I think that's Dirty Dan.
Dirty Dan carrying it, and Dirty Dan getting to the 41. That's just a large... He looks like one of the thwomps from Super Mario 64. He's just a large concrete mass that just moves forward.
There's a lot of concrete there.
Second down, the handoff again, and powering through. First down and then some, gets brought down near the 47, and OG Buck running this team like a Swiss watch, keeps it moving here 1st and 10 as LaPera now in on defense.
And this is the type of play calling that you'll get from Buck. He loves to start the game running the ball and setting the tone, because then he can go into his different misdirections and play action. But if you're getting yards calling it, why not keep going with it?
Buck will hand it off one more time, gets it to the big man, gets across the 50, extends out to the 46.
Hey, he's tenderizing them boys, man. You keep sending a big back like that straight at the muscle of the defense, the heart of the defense. It starts to wear you down. I mean, it's early. I mean, if they continue this for the rest of the game, then we might have a problem here, man.
And it's interesting. You saw how the Animals started the game, and you see how the Watchmen started the game. Totally different tone they're setting.
And a big play one more time. Another huge chunky yardage. This time by number 22. That's allegedly Vincent Euro on the carry.
Not changing a thing. That's the same formation. That's humble beast.
Timeout call by the Animals.
There it is. That's what Buck wanted. They're getting overwhelmed. You go 3 and out, 4 and out, then their offense is just walking you down. Yeah, nah. It's you want the analogy? You caught one on the chin, and now you're in the corner getting punched on.
We'll take a brief timeout here. After the timeout, we'll be back on the other side of this. Baltimore driving and thriving. Can the timeout stop the momentum? We'll find out after this. It's the A7FL playoffs. Back live. It's the A7FL playoffs, and the Watchmen get a timeout forced out. They forced the Silk City Animals to call a timeout. 4:30 gone by in the first. The Animals go 4 and out. The rushing game of Baltimore Getting them within shouting distance. First pass play of the game. The OG Buck gets the ball tossed back, keeps the play alive, but they will somehow get 2 to 3 yards on that play. Called down at the 32, but Buck went down hard there, Corey Hammond.
Yeah, Buck makes the play on the pitch, but the first thing that he does is that patented pump fake where it's just like him, just like, trying to flinch to get the defense to adjust to whatever that spastic move is. But the Animals' defensive line is not falling for it there. So, again, it's interesting to see how the adjustments are made in game, because that's really what wins you games, especially in the playoffs in the A7FL. How do the Watchmen start out? Run it, run it, run it, run it. And then they go away from the run, and the Animals are there to answer.
2nd and 5, the toss off the screen, flag on the field. That might be holding. An emphatic tackle by number 18.
It's in the location of holding, but it also is in a location of potentially roughing the passer. So we'll see what the call is here.
That's 18 in on the tackle.
And there's a snags sighting, number 25.
Shout out to Angelo Lewis Jr.
I don't see a hold. I don't see a roughing the passer. Will saw something that he didn't like.
Will Franklin caught something. We'll see what it was. It's 2nd and 15, so it's enough for a 10-yard penalty. Some big bodies on the line for the Watchmen.
And you see number 34, Humble Beast, started this game at fullback. He's now at tight end, and here comes Pack in the motion.
Marcellus Pack gets the ball. He will scream down the sideline and get knocked out of play around the 32. Near the initial.
Again, I think there's a flag on the field.
Not what you want if you're Baltimore, going the wrong way. If you get back-to-back penalties like that.
And listen, NBA playoffs, basketball's going on, I guess, right? We could talk about it, but we'll talk about a timeout. Coaches for the Animals are on the sidelines. Shout out to Richie Augusto. After the 5 plays in a row series where they just go power right, it's the exact same play call. They call a timeout, and they completely make the adjustment that they needed. And now, in a game that looked like the Watchmen could just run the same play, hold triangle on offense and just press X and snap it, hand it off to a running back and score. Now they're on their back, on their heels, backpedaling, and another flag, it looked like, against the Animals. The Watchmen.
And not what you want if you're Baltimore.
Oh, no, it is on the Animals.
On the Animals. The giant hat of Will Franklin carrying a multitude of flags.
Yeah, based on today, looking for the extra attention with the bigger hat. I don't know if that was
he got it.
Not the move.
Spotlight, buddy. You got
it. he's had a tough day. He's had a tough ask. Not that he's done anything wrong, but he's definitely been put to work.
Call was neutral zone infraction, and then we'll get back to 2nd and 10, get us back to the initial line of scrimmage. In motion, Marcellus Pack. They won't run the same play again. This time, Buck waits for an option, throws it deep, downfield, almost picked off, and it will be 3rd down.
And he's testing, throwing it downfield to Tony Toe Tap. I love when the Watchmen go into that set where they do the Pack Money jet action looks. And they do get the defense to almost always adjust to the speed of Pack going from side to side. What I saw on that play is after the initial first couple of moments, Pack was just sitting there completely uncovered 8 yards in front of Buck. So he likes to take the shot, and maybe he had a receiver that he liked with Tony Toe Tap wide open down the field.
Tony Toe Tap is dangerous.
On 3rd and 10, well, especially when it matters, right? If we get into fourth down or fourth quarter, you better keep an eye out for number 11.
Yeah.
They're probably going to call same motion, same look, different play.
They'll run it again on 3rd and 10. They'll do the double motion. Buck throws it. Interception! And here comes an opportunity. Can the Animals put 6 on the board on defense? Slip, slide, takes it to the house.
Yeah. The animals are still.
That's that guy,
Long.
Rob. That's your guy.
Robert Long, one of the most elite members of the A7FL secondary. Another pick six for that young man in his second season. Silk City slides 6-0.
Guys, they got offensive players coming off the sideline to do this whole gimmick to the camera. Can we just let the guy who went almost coast to coast on a pick six have his moment?
Well, he
Manny
walked away.
Diaz.
No,
Manny Diaz isn't even on the field until he scores.
No, he's the media manager.
He's
the media trainer. He's making sure Robert Long gets there, but just
This is the critique that comes from Buck. He's so good until he isn't, and then he does something like this, and you're just sitting here like, dang, like.
Well, and this is those moments where you're like, what if we started the game off and went all game with one of these guys? And if the guy that starts struggles, then it's the other guy that you look to the sideline and say, hey,
tender from 10 for 2. The throw caught, and it is
he lost it.
It ends up intercepted, so it'll be 6-0.
Whoa, that was terrible.
Sly Boogie's like, hey, I'll take it if it's in the air.
That is the 6th interception for Robert Long on the season.
Oh wow, that's insane.
That is impressive, and
that
folks,
is insane.
if you want to,
6 points
for all 6 interceptions, we need something to help categorize it and keep things moving, as we see here on the replay. I'll tell you in a second how you can do something like that for you and your content, and also make a little money. But ball pops out. Shout out to number 42.
3 E's.
These hands are rated E for everyone. 6-0 is your score. The large hat of Will Franklin, our white hat today. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. Scan the QR code now or go to scene.com and learn how you can manage your content the same way we do on A7FL.tv. That is a live ball. Marcellus Pack will pick that up at the 25. Marcellus Pack will evade one defender. He will evade 2. He is getting on his bicycle, and Marcellus Pack is turning it back on a dime. Can he keep up with them? No, sir. He broke down. He ankle bites him inside the 10. And now Watchmen will get the ball at the 5. We've been denied the 3-on-1 tutty twice today after heads-up plays stopped them within the 20.
Pack lost the gear, bro. There's no way he got caught just now.
No
bro.
way. He didn't lose the gear,
bro. Yes, he did.
That is a Hail Mary answered. Because once he gets past, I think that's IG, it's really
look
just
how
a
many
man-oh-man.
steps he has on this man. Pack, the old Pack is 6, guaranteed.
Maybe that's the thing, is it's old Pack.
Yeah,
but hold on.
Look how many steps he has.
Let's not be Rob, let's not be negative. Let's be positive. Do you know the kind of inner will it takes to chase down a man like that and make this decision? All or nothing? Why not?
Oh my God, it was perfect.
Why not?
And the handoff and immediately stopped at the line.
Stop.
Snags.
Oh, if you want to win.
And that's number 14. I think that was Booby Miles on the stop.
If you want to win, put Booby in and let Booby spin. Come on.
Yeah, but listen, as long as Booby stays in because he doesn't take himself out with what some might call, I don't know.
In an update from Las Vegas, it is almost halftime. Does anybody want to guess?
70.
You're close. That's the combined. It's close to the combined score. The handoff again, slip slide, bounces in, and this one is a tie game. Unlike in Nevada where it's 62-6.
That's the wrong sideline. Tell him that's the incorrect sideline.
That is Snag Sosa, Angelo Lewis Jr. saying hi to his friends from the Silk City, blowing them kisses, waving hello, and John Gauze is like, just get back here. Why are you running away from here? We need you.
Well, Buck's in.
But just like that, 2-play drive after the return from Marcellus Pack. It's a tie game, boys.
Yeah, this is a heck of a run because really he has. If that's Dirty Dan, sure, give it to him. But Snags has no business somehow making it in.
You sound crazy. This is Snags' bread and butter.
I know, but he loves this.
Snags weighs about 165 pounds and runs like he's 225. Snags is a monster.
The quick screen on the back stack. Looking for an option. Throws this one. Can't get there, and it will remain 6-6 here in the first quarter.
Humble Beast has a lot of skill sets. One of them is not going to the top shelf to catch an extra point.
I think the Six City Animals have to figure it out right now and get this offense going. I haven't seen anything positive from their offense right now. All the play calls have been kind of weak. I don't know what's going on. Their defense is definitely here to stay and here to rock. But
well, let's hear from the fans. What they have to say.
Well, let's go to a7fl.com/chat. It's on a7fl.com/chat. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can head on there. Foodie4 saying it's not on Buck. The wide receiver ran the wrong route. That's on the pick six.
Wrong,
Incorrect.
Buck.
Incorrect.
Yeah,
That's not what happened.
Wrong, Buck.
He stopped. It was Sly Boogie. He stopped on the route, but it was a poorly thrown ball. It was not a good thing.
But your score is 6-6.
This is stuff we've seen from Buck for seasons. This isn't anything new.
And here's where
we don't see this for seasons. We see a couple plays a season.
Stop.
Look at the bracket.
That's where the bracket is right now. We have a little bit of technical difficulties coming out of Asbury Park, as it seems like we have lost our bit of our signal.
Well, there's the bracket. We know one of those sides of the bracket was handled.
It was handled earlier today when the Trenton BIC got the win. As we await for live signal from Asbury, let's take a quick timeout, and we will be back with more A7FL action in just a moment. Stay right where you are. Welcome to A7FL in motion. I am Matt Ryan, and folks, we're loading up the A7FL Station 2.5 one more time because this is the final round of the conference playoffs. That's right. It is the final round of the interdivision, interconference play. Next week, we will see East versus West, but before we see that, we have these matchups, and if you want to know where to watch live or on demand, whether you're watching on Fox Soul, Triller TV Plus, Fight 24/7, internationally on DAZN. We're back live. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulties. It's the A7FL playoffs, and we are running into technical difficulties in Asbury Park. We have lost our feed, so we are back with you in Las Vegas, where the Insomniacs lead 68-6.
Yeah, that wasn't far off, I guess.
And right now, Jerry Reeves in the gold looking for any kind of option, and they get oof. And he is brought down, and that will be how they end the first half in Las Vegas as we continue to wait for signal out east in Asbury. So we're going to take another quick timeout, and when we return, we hope to have some more action for you from Asbury Park as we continue with action as the Watchmen took the lead. It's the A7FL playoffs. Stay right where you are. We're back live on the A7FL Games of the Week. It is halftime halftime in Las Vegas. We are getting you back to Asbury in just 1 second. as we will bring you action back live. We are back live in Asbury Park. 6:41 left to go in the first. 6-6 your score. I'm joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. And in Vegas right now, it seems all Insomniacs as action continues here after a brief power interruption. We lost signal out east, so we were able to come back. Thank you to our friends over in Vegas for helping us carry over.
Yeah, and those guys in Vegas that up 68-6, they can take a little bit of a breather maybe at halftime and watch some of the action here because they play the winner of this game next week in Vegas.
Ooh. Ooh.
And that's a handoff, looks like to Amari Thomas over the off-tackle right side on 1st and 10.
What I'm seeing is that both defenses spent a lot of time watching film.
Well, and one of the keys to this game on the defensive side of the ball for the Watchmen is if the Animals try to run the ball, they're going to have to get a block on Ricardo Freeman, who's the middle of this defense, the heart and soul of this defense, and a guy that you have to block if you want to be successful.
2nd and 12. Tender somehow makes the pass, gets hit as he throws, makes the first down and more. What a play.
Wow.
Quani Morgan, once again, the dynamic playmaker in his 2nd season, comes out of the backfield and makes some noise like Brennan Lee Mulligan. First down, Silk City.
And again, that's David Tender doing what David Tender does. It doesn't look like there should really be a reason that he's successful in the play. There's 2 rushers free, doesn't have enough time, still finds the open guy, which is hard enough under pressure, but then makes a good enough pass off balance to give his playmaker the ability to make yards after the catch. That's why the Animals are a different team than they've ever been.
Balls comes loose, picked up by the Watchmen, almost gets pulled out again. Sly Washington comes out with it.
Wow.
Rough.
And
what a play.
Both defenses are reading the offenses like a book at this point.
And I don't know if that's on the quarterback because that is a delayed handoff, like a draw. And if he doesn't secure the handoff, the running back is supposed to keep his eyes downfield. That's really on the quarterback to make sure the ball is put into the breadbasket. But either way, the Animals cannot beat the Watchmen, a team that they've never beaten in a must-win game. They beat them this regular season, but in a playoff situation, they have not yet beat them. They're not going to be able to beat them if they keep giving them the ball back and acting as if the offense doesn't matter. Now, credit Animals for scoring the 6 on the pick 6, but it's a totally different animal if Gauls is able to come in this game and solidify that he's the number 1 guy.
You know that narrative's done.
Buck hands it off. Gets the way to run through. First ball pops loose again.
No way
Here comes an opportunity somehow, some way. The Watchmen keep it, and it is 2nd down. Corey, Rob, what a play.
Nah, that ain't it. You can't do that. Ace is the epitome of glass cannon. He is yet to make it a full season. I almost feel like this half and half thing they do is to protect them. Let's not put Ace out there to get hurt on a pitch back play. Come on now.
Well, I don't like the pitch back to Service. I don't like the pitch back to Buck. I don't like the Boogie. I don't like to myself. I'm not a huge fan, but they avoid giving the ball right back to the Animals. But what they don't avoid is putting their offense in a position on 2nd and 16 that is really tough, especially when you have a guy rushing the edge like Trey Basketball.
The snap, the throw, caught. First down and then some, being brought down at the 40. First down, Baltimore.
Well, that's Hefe Jones on the catch. And I don't think it's a first down just because of how much they lost on the previous play, Matt. They got past the initial stick, but that's the original line of scrimmage. So I think it brings up 3rd and 6, not to completely undercut you there, Matt. I know you're the leader of the squad, but that's who Ace Boogie is. Timing route, stop route, puts it right, not only on time, but in the place where his receiver can catch it and sets up a manageable 3rd and 6.
The snap. Rolls out, thrown, incomplete, and it will be 4th down. What a play there. Not able to make it happen, and it will be 4th down for the Watchmen.
Well, LaPera, who we call, Wally Cleaver, he gets the pressure and forces the early throw. So it's a really good play from Ace to even get the ball, give his receiver a chance. I thought it was close to a catch, but it did bounce, which would bring us up 4th and 6.
Yeah, both teams' defenses seem like they really got it figured out. I don't see either offense doing anything that's like outstanding.
Timeout, Animals.
And on 4th and 6, with 2:04 left to go in our first quarter, it's tied 6-6. Rob, Corey, this is an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, and so far we've seen a lot already happen. We've seen both teams turn the ball over. We've seen a 3-on-1 return for just about a touchdown. And I think the pick six is just as important as the 3-on-1 return, because it hasn't really been the offenses that have been what puts the points on the board. It's those utility, other sides of the ball that have gotten the job done for each side. So both of these offense kind of settling in, and they got to cut the turnovers out. But this is a big play for the Animals defense if they can get a stop here on 4th and get David Tender back on the field with a shot at putting up more points. With the timeout, they have extra time to talk in the huddle about what the plan should be. But they'll come out with that base set that Ace Boogie loves to operate out of. Wide receiver on each side, snags in the backfield for extra protection. And all they need is
Corey.
6 yards.
It's 4th and 6. The snap. In trouble. Throws, caught. Can he get past it? He gets hit at the sticks. Is that enough for a first down, though, guys?
It looks like it was. And that's Super Saiyan Matthews, who just runs the stop route at the sticks. And it's a 3-step route. It's a timing route. It's a quarterback's bread and butter. And those are two Gators, former Gators, who are always in sync with one another. And look, Matthews makes a lot of big plays. None of them really go for a lot of yards. But on 4th down, you get the first down, you're going to take it every time.
1st and 10, minute 33 left to go. Sets out. Bit of motion. The snap, the quick throw. That's swatted by Baskerville off the line and Rob.
That's what you want Baskerville for. That's what he's there for, to be able to not only put pressure on the quarterback to force a bad throw, but when a quarterback thinks he can throw a low one, being 6'5" with that wingspan, he can knock it down. That's what you want, man.
And when he gets to that spot on the field with his ability to tip the ball, he almost is playing two positions. He's playing defensive end, but he's also he's helping in coverage because he's not allowing for the short passes underneath. It's a nightmare that I've lived over and over again. And now Ace Boogie has to deal with it. 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. The toss immediately met by the Animals defense. Stopped, stifled, and it will be 3rd down. Trey Baskerville hits the dance on him.
Yeah, he's there to clean up, but the play is over as soon as the crack motion wide receiver, Matthews, who caught the first down on 4th, misses the seal on the toss. If you're going to toss it to the bottom of your screen, you absolutely 100% have to block the defensive end that can make the play. That time they don't do it, and we'll see what the call is here.
Great. This is great defense.
That's a late flag, too, so I'm not sure what the call is.
I don't
Personal
know what
foul.
That could possibly call.
That's a way to turn around your
what?
Your fortune is a personal foul after the play is made in the backfield for a loss of 7. But plus the 15, it'll equal 1st and 10 for the Watchmen.
Watchmen continuing to drive here with not a lot of time left to go in the first. In motion. The handoff immediately blown up and sent back. The Animals defense had that one scouted, Corey.
It's the same block that the wide receiver misses on that play again. Now, they don't go toss, but they do need that crack motion to get the defensive end because he's completely unaccounted for. And the aggression in which the Animals' defensive line is attacking, it's not going to work out.
We'll take a brief time out here, and when we return, we'll have more of the A7FL playoffs. The Animals defense showing up and showing out, but can they get the stop? We'll find out next. Back live on the A7FL playoffs, and if you want to be a part of the conversation, easiest way is downloading Locker Room Chat. Drop a comment, get a shout out, go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat, and download Locker Room Chat today. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond, and technology be damned. We're bringing you the Eastern Conference playoffs here on A7FL TV as we decide who's going fishing and who's going to Las Vegas, as it is 6-6 here in the start of the second quarter. The Watchmen driving, but it's 2nd and 15 after a caustic play, and they will fake the handoff. And here, LaPera misses him, but they don't miss the second time. Brought down at the 35. And another huge play from this Animals defense. That tackle by number 24, Benny Jones.
And maybe Rob can explain this a little bit better, but the way in which the Watchmen started this game from an offensive line perspective, they were dominating. Play after play, everybody knew what the play was, and they converted. And they were getting chunk yardage. But what you saw on that last play is when they go into a pass blocking set, the offensive line so far for the Watchmen is playing. It's their matadors right now. They're letting guys go so easily that even after Gauze makes the first man miss, there's nowhere for him to find free range.
The snap. 3rd and 25 now. Launches a moonbeam, swatted, and it will be 4th down.
Now, with pressure in his face, he gives his wide receiver, Hefe Jones, a chance, but just a little bit underthrown, and a great play from the Animals defense to lock him up. And 4th and 25 is not where you want to be if you want to try to cap this drive off with points.
They got to maintain. You got to remember, when you're switching quarterbacks, you have to be ready for both styles of play. As a lineman, I'm not 100% a fan of Ace's style because I'm on my back foot going backwards. I don't get to actually put hands on nobody. It gets a little tiring. It gets a little tiring. So I understand that lack of where it's coming from. It's just not.
Offensive run blocking is you attacking the defender.
Yeah.
Offensive pass blocking is you reacting to the defender.
Yeah, nobody wants to be sitting in a pass set all day. Like I know I don't want to.
My bad, Rob.
And they will mark that down at the goal line.
That's a great way.
What a stop there. And, folks, if you want to get protected, get the Gator Skin Shiesty. Get more protected, up to 79% concussion risk saves. And go to GatorTech.com. That's G8RTech.com. That's G8RTech.com. Use the code A7FL25 for 10% off today. Gator Tech.
Well, in the shadow of their own end zone, David Tender and the Animals come out looking to change their fortunes, at least so far in this game, and they're going to have to go 98 yards to do it. And I like what they're doing here. They're completely just saying, look, we're not going to run the ball. We're not going to pretend. We got David Tender. We have playmakers. We're just going to go out there and play some football, even if we are on our 2-yard line.
99-yard drive. Tender steps up, throws it underneath. What a play! Holy moly, what a play! Slip, slide, gets past the 45, the 50, makes the Saquon in reverse, and somehow gets the first down.
And listen, that's how it's done. Give your playmakers the ball in space and watch what they can do after the catch. David Tender doesn't have to do anything earth-shattering here. He throws a sidearm, check down.
I'm glad I wasn't here. Oh, my goodness. Whoop. I'm glad I wasn't here because I was like, David Tender, why didn't you run? That's why he didn't run. That's why right there. Run for what?
Why? Yeah. Just dunk it down to a guy like Wingo. Presses the B button in Mario. Boing, gets the coin and the first down.
The handoff. Tender throws it to the check down, hits the B button, hits it a second time, and gets to the 39, and it is first down, Animals.
That looks like Amari Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, a little Baltimore on Baltimore crime. And look, if you watch a lot of these plays that end up being positive plays for the Animals, tell me when it looks like it was going to be, because there's 3 red jerseys bearing down on David Tender, and just the composure that he has with guys in his face to get the ball out to his receiver in the screen. Look at how calm he is. Boop. Just get the job done. Press circle, press B. Just keep going forward. And
the snap off the quick screen, off the hands, almost intercepted.
Wow, that quick screen could have been another unfortunate play for the Animals. A lot of poorly executed quick screens on here. Here's the running back screen earlier. Just solid play in the open field from Amari Thomas. But that rocket screen that they just called on first down, incomplete. A little bit too much mustard maybe, but brings up 2nd and 10 for the Animals, who are driving.
2nd and 10. Tender will just keep it. He will plow through the defender and gain a short amount of yards, but tried to set the tone there with 10:35 left to go.
Normally when you see a quarterback designed run like that, it's because the offensive line communicated to the quarterback that I can make the block.
Right.
I guess that time they weren't able to, or Tender missed it, but still,
he was trying to send a message.
You'll still take 4 yards.
Ooh. Kwani.
Balance. Don't pitch it. Just go.
Big play.
Oh, my goodness.
Now he pitches it.
When does forward progress stop and we just say, come on, stop it, guys? I don't know. If that's going to work, great. Good for you. The U have won a championship doing similar things. But what we've seen, at least so far in this game, is that when the Animals decide that they want to call a run play, they are not set up to win that type of a matchup against this Watchmen team. The only reason that play wasn't a 6-yard loss is that Kwani Morgan is one of the more elite guys that we have that play this position in our league.
Honestly.
Because there's no reason, and he has no business getting as many yards as he does, stiff-arming as many jaws as he did. Here's Tender.
David Tender. Big fella. Excuse me.
IG
live tosses him. What a play!
And it starts with a composed Tender in the backfield. The Watchmen really not knowing how they're supposed to defend a guy that seems like he's you can't touch him in the backfield or he's going to find an open receiver. But that's off balance. No reason he should be that wide open. But it's the right decision every time from Tender.
And Sly is the only guy I would look for to tackle this guy one-on-one, and even he couldn't do it.
Thank goodness they got him down eventually. But the fact is that he was uncovered to start the play. And when you have to tackle IG Live like that, it's not going to work out. He's Tender.
Tender will run it in and take the lead on 1st and goal.
Tender about that, young man. He got it.
And it's his third read. He looks to throw to the right, looks to throw to the left, and just says, I'll gritty into the end zone. Why not?
Tender takes the lead, holding on the offense, of course, and we will go back.
We will go back. But you see the type of player that Tender is. He's laughing about it. You know what that means for a quarterback like David Tender? Is that he gets an opportunity at a touchdown pass. And if you have that type of mindset, Rob, you're the kind of quarterback that I would want in my huddle if I was one of these other guys. Because, look, he can feel bad for himself. He can look at and be like, it should have been a touchdown. But nope. Let's just go right to the line, twins to the top of the screen. Let's go for the end zone.
The snap, Tender. After the holding penalty, cannot complete it. It will be second down.
That's a very rare miss in the air from Tender. He reared up to throw a bullet there and actually was finally, maybe for the first time in his A7FL career, a little bit off target on that deep cross. And that's a touchdown that, if that's KP out there, that he scored plenty of times in this season.
That's a fact.
But at least on 1st and goal there after the penalty, Tender is a little off target, and it'll bring up second down.
2nd and goal. Tender. Looking for his first ever A7FL Final Four. And an interesting choice there on 2nd down.
Tender, for all of the praise that we're heaping on top of him, he's looking for his first ever A7FL playoff victory as a starter.
Right.
Let's be clear.
I'm not really a fan of the play calling right now, and I don't know if it's Tender I should be worried about, or is it what's the other guy's name? The one who says he's Richard Gusto. He says he's the offensive coordinator. I'll put the blame on him. I won't put it on Tender. Richie knows.
Well, Tender's in the huddle. He's calling the plays. Richie knows what he's doing, giving him ideas. But it's Tender who knows what he wants to do with the ball.
But I just
can make
feel
a lot of things happen.
I just feel like they're not calling the plays based off the defense they're going against. Nice.
Tender to IG Live. Gonzalez will head on in there. Touchdown, Silk City.
Well, whoever deserves credit for that, they deserve credit. But really, it's again, when we're watching David Tender play quarterback, what is he elite at? Because that wasn't some perfectly thrown ball or the greatest form in the backfield. What it is his decision making. Almost always, he's making the right decision, throwing to the wide open guy, and his ability to be calm under pressure means that it doesn't matter when you're open. It doesn't matter when you're open. If you do break open and he's not down on the ground, he's going to give you a shot at a touchdown.
I think that's what makes him probably maybe not better than everyone, but pretty much in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in this league. His poise in the pocket is second to none. Like, his decision making is second to none.
I ask you this. Based on the quarterbacks we've seen this year, who do you put on this Animals roster that does better?
Going for 2 from the 10. Tender steps back, and he will get hit as he throws, and that will not be complete. When we return, the Baltimore Watchmen and Marcellus Pack get the ball and try to tie this one up. It is close. It is contentious. It's the A7FL playoffs. Who's flying to Vegas?
Are you good now? Because I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Again.
Or he needs.
I wanted to dealing with a lot of issues on his end.
A7FL playoffs, and if you want to unlock the potential of your video the same way Will Franklin unlocks the potential of a giant hat, scan the QR code now or go to Scene, that's SEEN.com, for monetization and AI tools that can help you make the most out of your content with shoppable prompts and more. Check out the finished product at A7FL.tv and see what you can do for your business at SEEN.com. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. And Rob Fabian, as that train rolls into Asbury Park, the Silk City Animals right now looking to roll to their first ever A7FL semifinal as they have a 12-6 lead. It's a tenuous one, especially with Marcellus Pack returning it. The Husses get him to around the 34, Rob, but it will be 1st and 10. The Watchmen got stopped on their last drive, but as we see OG Buck returning to the field. It's about rhythm and consistency, and we talked about that on the 3-on-1 podcast many, many moons ago, and I'm getting emotional thinking about it, but 12-6 is your score. OG Buck returning out here. I think this is a do-or-die drive. I think at halftime, you're going to have to decide, are we going forward or are we going to waver back and forth? And it feels like right now this is an audition for the Buck-led offense, because it's also not just different quarterbacks, different players off the quick screen, and that will get them to the 40. The clock will continue to run, but that is a solid completion for the Watchmen, and it will be 2nd down. The handoff, and again, the power running of the Watchmen has been such a huge benefit for them.
I don't think so. I mean,
it would literally be
possible,
literally be hopping in a DeLorean and going back in time. You're devolving the game of football by doing so.
You can't.
But look, they're getting positive yards more consistently doing this than they were getting in any other way.
3rd and 2. Opportunity now for the Watchmen. The handoff, the quick screen to Pack. Pack will get bounced out at the 45, but it does enough, Rob and Corey, to get the 1st down.
Just finding difficult ways to do easy things. I don't get that.
Well, when you line up in that weird formation, what is the defense doing the entire time as they're lining up? They're calling who their man is or what their responsibility is, because they're not familiar with the 2 linemen, 2 wing, weird wishbone, like full house type set that Buck comes out in. And then when you see Pack screaming across the field running a 4.340, now you have nobody in formation to tackle him.
Buck. Quick throw, that's to Snag Sosa, and Snag Sosa
stepped out of bounds right before the 1st down, but that's a Baltimore special.
But my thing is, at what point are we going to start looking at the Baltimore special like a desperation play?
I don't know. It's pretty simple math. You count to 7.
But you're pulling it out in the 2nd quarter. You're not even trying to get a sneaky win on it.
I'll ask you this. When did BIC pull it out?
BIC pulled it out?
Yeah, that's how Ashante Worthy scored that go-ahead touchdown on 4th down.
I thought that was just a rush into the line situation.
Yeah, well, they didn't cover Ashante
1st
Worthy
and 10. The handoff, again, utilizing the running game, but that time gets sent into the smoke as the opaque white jerseys of the Silk City Animals capture him like the smoke monster on Lost. Throw $1 in the jar, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nice. Smoke monster on Lost. Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it, Matt. Now, I don't know why they keep taking my guy Dirty Dan out, because he's been by far their most effective runner. And in my opinion, the guy on the Watchmen roster, the Animals really don't want to have anything to do with. It's one of the curses of the list of names, right? We always talk about what these teams bring roster-wise, but when you have so many guys like the Watchmen do, and it even comes down to what you were talking about to start this drive, in which there's so many guys that come in and out that it's almost like they have two full offensive sets, depending on who the quarterback is. You almost have to ask yourself, who are the best 7 that we have? Because that's what we should go with in this situation. But so far, even though we say what we want about OG Buck and what he does, he's moving the ball downfield.
He's been keeping the momentum going. And Corey, before you rejoined us here, Rob was talking about, I don't know if a 2-quarterback system is actually going to work because we've seen it up and down so far for the Watchmen. This is essentially an audition for Baltimore for OG Buck and the offense he's been leading.
Yeah, and really what it comes down to, Matt, is the 2-quarterback system's great when both quarterbacks are effective. But when both are struggling, now you have to make the call. Who is the better option?
The snap off the quick screen, the toss, and it's a completion, another first down for Baltimore, but a flag on the field.
You virtually play 2 teams when you go against the Watchmen. Every time. You play the Gators and you play the purple guys, whoever they are.
The rare breed.
whichever
/ Cobras / Bulldogs
Vikings / whatever they want to call themselves.
Yeah.
But you're virtually playing 2 teams. And where it could work is if you're over preparing for one quarterback and under preparing for the other, you're in trouble. And I do think it's a very specific 7. There's guys we never see when Buck is in. I don't ever see Super Saiyan when Buck is in. Ever.
Yeah, I mean,
I rarely see Beefy getting a lot of work when Ace is in.
It's Nick Mays, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of it's a different team. They have different sets. I mean, it looks cool sometimes. It's a little overwhelming sometimes, but you essentially just took 2 really good parts of 2 different teams, merged them together, and now you just got to deal with them every other possession.
You did this, right? You did this thing?
Yeah. Is that the direction?
For the visuals. For the visuals, for all the fans that can't see
pressure,
that, right?
the throw, deep downfield. Can he get it? He gets it. Can he slide into the end zone? They'll call him down at the 1. What a play. What a catch.
That's a phenomenal
play. Avon Jones.
Yeah, Hefe Jones is one of those guys that I think the first year the Watchmen were in existence, he had a couple of 10-plus catch games, 100-plus yard games, kind of burst onto the scene as one of the top contenders for best wide receiver on this roster. But they go back and forth with who the go-to guy is, that it's really inconsistent who that guy ends up being, not because they're not talented, but because there's so much depth there. But Hefe, he really is the go-to guy at times for OG Buck. And say what you want about Buck's style, his mechanics, the way in which he does it, he's getting the job done on this drive.
The handoff bounces in, touchdown, and we tie this one up.
We're keeping it humble.
The humble beast. One of the best nicknames in the A7FL makes this a 12-all contest with 2:03 left to go. But is that too much time to give the Animals who get the ball to start our second half? Oh, no, the Watchmen get the ball to start our second half. But are the Watchmen giving the Animals too much time here, Rob?
I think so, because the Animals don't need that much time to score whatsoever. Even with their struggles on offense today, I can't acknowledge that. They don't need that much. Oh, my goodness.
All I got to say is
Batista Bonds gets crammed.
All I got to say is that when you're that close, you got to punch it in. It doesn't really matter at the time. Here's the throwback to Gauze on the extra point.
And he sees a clear lane, but can he get there?
Championship points, it's going to matter.
They call him out.
These are some close calls, gentlemen.
For real.
Is it the other goal line now? Has the curse passed? But, folks, if you want to get yourself a custom A7FL uniform, or if you want to get your flag team, your soccer team, softball, baseball, any sport, any athlete, we've got you covered. Custom athletic uniforms for all sports and ages. go to tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com, or scan the QR code today. Corey, what are you thinking?
Well, what I'm thinking is that if that doesn't count, that this game is going to end up a lot like the previous game, in which championship points are going to be so critical that on the call's no good. So it's a challenge. And the challenge of this point is going to matter so much because, and we just saw it in the previous game, when we were basically slicing down to the micromillimeter, I guess that's a nanometer, of Matt Riddick's attempt at the end zone at the end of that BIC Renegades game. And look, if Ace gets it in, then that's going to be a huge advantage for the Watchmen heading into the next drive. But what I will say is that with 2 minutes left, 3 timeouts for the Animals, I think it's even better that they're put into a hurry-up situation, because when they called run plays, the Animals look like they're completely lost on who to block, how to block, why to block, where to block, right? All of the questions they have are not answered in the blocking scenario for the Animals in the run game. So with 2 minutes left on the clock, it's the best case scenario, because basically whoever the calls the plays, whether it's Richie or Tender, you go into the huddle and say, look, my name's David Tender, your name is KP, your name is Manny Diaz, your name is IG, and your name is Kwani Morgan, and let's just play football. And you were asking how much time, is that too much? Those names, they might be able to give the Watchmen too much time after a quick score, either on this return or with an electric play from these fantastic offensive players that we have on this side of the ball for Silk City. But the call here is going to be big, and I'm not sure if we saw an angle that we can make a call one way or the other.
And the challenge of the call is that it was completed, correct? Like that's the call stands. It is remaining 12-12. It was no good, so the Animals will get the ball with 2:03 left to go and a chance to retake the lead heading into halftime, but with an untimed down and Kwani Morgan or Omari Thomas running it back. Not sure what might happen, but you're going to want to strap in for the most exciting play in football and possibly the most exciting team in the A7FL coming back up on offense. And this one will make the requisite distance. That is a live ball that will bounce at the 15, picked up by the Animals, and that will be a moderate gain. It'll be at the 21. Not what you want, but for David Tender and the Animals, ball placement might be secondary. They might want a deeper field. We saw them on an 99-yard drive, just a drive or two ago, Robin Corey.
Yeah, and 2:03 left. They have 4 stoppages of time on this drive. After this first play, you're going to get the 2-minute warning, and you got 3 timeouts if you need it.
And that is the 2-minute warning, and at 2 minutes, it's tied 12-12. It's close, it's contentious. Who's going to Vegas? Who's buying a flight? And, well, who's getting a rod and reel? We'll find out after this. Back live with the A7FL Games of the Week. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian at the 2-minute warning. It's time for the Animals. They snap the ball. Tender steps up, throws it, caught. That is Wingo. Wingo will get out of play, and just like that, in 7 seconds flat, they cross the 50-yard line, get a 1st and 10, and stop the clock, Corey Hammond.
It is uncanny what David Tender does on a play-in, play-out basis. If you look at his feet, he has no business being able to dot as many of these passes as he does. There's going to be wide-open wide receivers when you send pressure after a quarterback, and even in the limited amount of time that he has, there's going to be wide-open wide receivers. But for a quarterback with pressure, having to move to avoid pressure, to be able to accurately throw balls like he does consistently is amazing.
In motion on 1st and 10. Tender makes 2 men miss. Breaks off, makes another man miss at the 25 to 20, the 15 to 10 to 5. Touchdown, Silk City. And just like that, the Animals, Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa. Touchdown, Tender.
I don't even think we own the rights if I were to say it. She told me her name.
Yeah, don't say it.
But what is the flag now?
Oh,
Is there an actual flag, or is somebody wearing a yellow hat somewhere that we just miss?
If it's that guy that hangs out with Curious George, he owes me $20 and a beating. Holding on offense.
Oh my God, bro!
Those two words have
I'm
haunted
like
what otherwise has been an excellent day of football.
Who is the holding on?
Let me ask this, because
it's
I
not
don't
at
know.
the first. It's at the first level.
Is it here? Because if it's down the field, then it doesn't matter as much. I don't know. There's a lot of jersey in Manny Diaz's hand, but I don't know where they're going to call it. But if it's down the field, then really what it ends up being is a really long gain and just not a touchdown. So we'll see where the ball is placed, because it's going to be a lot closer to the original line of scrimmage. So the Watchmen, lucky there. I have an interesting proposition for you guys to tell me who is faster when they decide to take off at the quarterback position, because David Tender does not look like he is at the same speed level as some of the top speed guys in our league at that position. We just saw a game that featured probably 2 of them in Service and Sterry. But whether it looks like he's fast or not, he is, because he gets separation. He's got wide open field in front of him. And what looked like could have been, if it wasn't a holding, could have still been a tackle some point down the sideline. He makes it look so easy.
The snap on 1st and 35. The throw by Tender, intercepted.
Oh, no!
goodness, terrible.
It went from a touchdown to a pick as number 5 gets the interception.
It's Nani Forrester with a diving pick. Now, listen, David Tender in that situation where he's got pressure in his face, he lets go of the ball, and almost always, you almost assume that it's going to be to a receiver. Let's see who he was throwing it to.
Right there.
Because it's
You're trying to get it to Manny Diaz.
Almost to Manny Diaz. Good coverage, but it's Nani Forrester who comes off of IG Live there.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been in championship games and all these types of games where we would score a touchdown, it would get called back for one of those calls, and the motivation, and the energy needed,
sapped right from
you're sapped. It's like it just took it away from you. It's like
that's why it was amazing the Renegades were able to bounce back after so many of those calls.
So many of those calls, man. I'm telling you, it takes it out of you. I wouldn't want to be on that side.
So first and 10. Buck back in. 3 wide receivers set. The snap. Immediate pressure. Buck brought down behind the 50. And LaPera in on the sack. Mr. Backlund coming in, putting the chicken wing on and getting it to be second and a lot more.
And it's good pressure from the Animals on John Gauze, and looks like they're going to call a timeout. He's communicating with Pac Money, who's got a 12-yard cushion. Maybe just get him the ball.
Watch the bottom of your screen, the quick screen to Pac, and that will get them to where they need to be. That will stop the clock. With 58 seconds left to go in the half. At halftime, we will go over highlights. We will take a look around the A7FL. We'll update the playoff bracket and a lot more. So stick around and join us here at halftime. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond on the A7FL playoffs. 2 teams that have advanced so far, 2 more by the end of today, as the Watchmen and the Animals look to punch their ticket to Las Vegas for a showdown against the Insomniacs, who locked in their victory with a 68-6 win over the Vegas Gold earlier today. And
well, I guess the Insomniacs are a little bit excited that they actually might be able to play a little bit of actual football in a week. I'm sure they are very excited for that opportunity.
if the Watchmen and the Insomniacs play, who gets to pick red jerseys? I would assume the home team, right?
I would assume that they both wear red, Matt. Let's just be honest.
Oh, good. Good.
That would be great, right?
Yep. But I like to. That's what I love to hear.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there. I know it's giving you it's giving you great vibes, Matt. But listen, this is a great opportunity now, though, for the Watchmen. And again, they have a 12-yard cushion on Pack money.
Pack in motion. We'll change it again. The throw, the quick screen on the play action. First down over the middle. And the tight end, beefy Aubrey Minor, making it happen as the clock continues to run here. Another quick first down for Baltimore.
It was actually good defense, though.
Yeah,
That's the
great
interesting
coverage,
part.
better throw.
Yeah,
Timeout called.
Did they go for the spike, or did they call the timeout?
Baltimore's out at timeout, so I believe they spiked it.
Yeah, so
it'll be second down.
Yeah, so they get the first, they run to the line, they spike it. That's good clock management. And where you see that Buck in his drives, he has a lot of unconventional type football, things that he uses in his repertoire. Ace Boogie, John Gauze, is the exact opposite. It's really just kind of your standard, I'm a quarterback. I've been playing this for most of my life, if not all of it. He might have been born with a football in his hands the way he calls plays and drops back. But he's given his team a shot, and now there's tight coverage on Pack. Maybe a mistake.
Second down, Pack in motion.
It's a live play, but
false start on the offense.
I'm not sure who moved first or if it was the way that Gauze called the play. But when you're running that motion back and forth, it does matter when everybody starts to move, especially in the A7FL where there is no center quarterback exchange. We do that to keep plays nice and clean so we don't have to see the fumbles in that situation. Plus, I think it's beneficial for quarterbacks not to have to go down there to get the ball. But a quick like a non-starting penalty, and Pack money has tight coverage bottom of your screen. If I know John Gauze, you might as well take the shot.
He snaps it. Pressure immediately from LaPera. The ball thrown deep downfield out of bounds, and it will be third down.
It was accurate, though. It was accurate.
Well,
very accurate.
It was catchable, but just not in bounds. And he does what I said, but it was pretty good coverage. If you're forcing Gauze to throw the ball out of bounds, as a quarterback, when you throw that fade ball, you're aiming to the outside of the corner. Oh, it looks like there's going to be some kind of call here. Maybe roughing the passer.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, you'll take it.
It was roughing the passer. Thank you to Alex Soberman, our producer today. David Soberman, our director. Running the house in Asbury Park is Zach Morgan. Ryan DePaul, our executive producer, alongside David Isaac, Center Corcuses, and stats and info from the lovely and talented Cole Gardella. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian as we spin around the big blue marble one more time as we try to find 4 teams.
Yeah, still 30 left. 30 seconds left in this half. Now, if they do complete it inbounds, they're going to have to rush to the line.
No timeouts on either side. The snap. In trouble. Buck needs something. Tosses it. Kept in bounds and brought down at the 15. Not what you want if you're Baltimore. They've got to run up to the line. 19 and counting now.
They do it effectively. I don't know if they go for the spike here. They do.
And they spike it, so it'll be second down.
Yikes.
Yeah, honestly, when you pitch it off to beefy Minor out in the flat like you do, if you're a quarterback, you're really hoping that he tiptoes the sideline and gets out of bounds as soon as he can. because that extra 10 seconds that ran off after the decision for Beefy to try to score on a play that he wasn't, it's that 10-second trade-off is not worth the extra 6 yards that you get from cutting it back inside. So with no timeouts and only 15 seconds left, look for Gauze to take a couple of shots that on pass plays that end up with wide receivers basically with an opportunity to catch in the end zone. Because at this point, I don't know if they have enough time if they run a play that's stopped before the goal line to rally and call another play.
From the 15 with 15 seconds left to go, the pop fly. That one's caught. Touchdown, no flag on that play.
Are you surprised about that either? I mean,
that looks like EJ.
Did that look like a push-off, or am I tripping?
I mean, it looked like I'm a man and you're a boy, so get off me and I'm going to score. So I don't know if it was legal or not or within the rules, but EJ, number 4, a guy known more for his ability to play corner, you see he's got the size advantage, and Gauze just gives him a ball up in the air.
They're going for one.
Of it, and he gets the touchdown to take the lead against the Animals.
And that's got to be a frustrating drive if you're the Silk City Animals.
Even more so if you remember that the play that
yikes.
that's about as illegal as a
yikes
touchdown's going to be. Listen, the last thing I need to see is another flag.
Yeah, for this team, right? Listen,
for
man.
this day, for this existence.
I'm over the flags, man.
Here's Buck.
The back stack.
Back to Gauze on the back stack.
To Gauze. The throw, and that one.
Does he catch it?
He catches it. He finishes the play.
And now they're up by 7. That's a big catch.
That's Leon Anderson with the catch.
That's Marlon's brother.
Well, one Anderson gets the catch, another one gets to get the tap. It's 18-12 with 10 seconds left to go. An untimed down. You got to wonder who's going to return it here. Does Quani Morgan run it back? And here we are on the replay. Correction, 19-12. The extra point was completed.
Just to give his receiver an opportunity on this play is tough. And that's a good play from the Animals to try to rally and get the ball out, but better catch.
Drop a comment, get a shout-out. Think you can do better than us? Well, prove it. Go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. And give us your thoughts if you're funny, interesting, or, have an opinion. You might read it on the air. Some people agreeing with us, Rob and Corey.
About everything, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. But with the 3-on-1, scan the QR code. Come hang out with us. But 19-12 is your score. 10 seconds left to go in the half. At halftime, we'll have stats and highlights. We'll also have an updated bracket for you. We'll show that to you right before the end of the half, and that is caught. It's a live ball in Quani Morgan. Quani Morgan trying to bust him up.
I don't think that's Quani.
And the Turf Monster gets him at the 40. Little extracurricular there after the whistles. Morgan down on the turf on the sideline, and David Tender standing up for his running back.
10 seconds really feels like not enough, right? It doesn't feel like there's enough time. And it doesn't look like they even have timeouts. But I don't know. If I believe in anybody maybe being able to do something ridiculous, it's Mr. Marketable himself.
Watch at the bottom of your screen. A lot of space there. Tender. Not a lot of time. Launches this one deep down field. Somehow almost caught that one, but enough for one more play. No pass interference on that call, and that one was covered by number 0.
Great job. Great coverage, man.
Now, that was great coverage, but guess what? That bomb is a one-on-one opportunity for your receiver with only 10 seconds left at what? That was at the 8-yard line. So doesn't end up being a play for the Animals, but guess what? That's as close as you're going to get to an opportunity. That's just execution right there from David Tender. Now, it's going to get another shot at it.
The snap, Tender. Last play of the half. Steps up. rolls around, tries to
Back to
create some
block for the
time,
man. There you
space,
go.
and place. He does. He will run it. He will lateral it back to Wingo.
backwards.
Wingo
Drops
loses the
it.
ball. It's still a live ball. Wingo gets it back, and he tosses it back one more time. It's still a live ball.
alive.
It's feeling broken down here, and
That could be
that
a
one
touchdown.
ends up in the hands of Baltimore, and we will walk into halftime with Snag Sosa with his arms held high and Baltimore's morale at 100%. Can the Silk City Animals find a way to turn the tide? They're down at halftime, but at halftime we'll give you stats, we'll give you that, and a whole lot more. Here's where we stand heading into the next round as the A7FL will be back. Back to the A7FL playoffs and get yourself taped up like a pro. Professional athletic training services to athletes of all sports and ages. Sign up now at tapemeup.net. Get taped up like a pro at tapemeup.net or just scan the QR code. It's halftime here in the A7FL playoffs. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. Guys, we are at halftime. I think we expected some fireworks here, but not as much from the defense in this game as we've seen. It's 19-12, and interceptions and big plays have really set the stage on defense. On offense, we've seen two quarterbacks for the Watchmen kind of waver back and forth, and David Tender not really able to get himself and his offense off on the right foot, Corey Hammond.
Well, and what I think that both of these games so far that we've watched today have shown is that the separation of supremacy in the Northeast is razor thin. And here we see the opening kickoff, finding a way, get yardage there. Back to talking. David Tender has looked amazing in the plays that have gone. A lot of them just haven't counted. And the interception is obviously a mistake that he wishes he could get back. Here's the return again from Quani Morgan to start the game off. But really a wasted opportunity for the Animals is they had good field position and just basically gave the ball right back to the Watchmen. And then the Watchmen get the ball back, and then they start, and then if we see their highlights, we'll see Dirty Dan starting the game off with, I think, ripping 4 carries for a total of like 30 yards back to back to back. And really what it's been is that the Watchmen have made the more savvy plays instead of the highlight plays. Because the highlight plays, I think, are still on the side of the Animals.
Really?
It's just a couple of them. One got called back for holding. And Yeah, I mean, really think about it. What play have the Watchmen run that's a big time highlight? I mean, obviously the jump ball to EJ, where it was maybe questionable if there's contact from the receiver on the defensive back.
Here's where we stand in the A7FL playoffs. The BIC and the Insomniacs have moved on. At the top of the hour, Sick With It and the Stealth will face off for their shot to face the BIC. The Animals will face, or the Watchmen will face the Insomniacs next week in Las Vegas. For more information on where and how to watch, go to a7fl.com/watch. But out of all these potential matchups, guys, which one's the most exciting to you? Obviously, the BIC versus Sick With It is a real intriguing matchup. But out of the two teams that are left in the East, I'll ask this to Corey Hammond first. Insomniacs or Animals?
I got a little bit of a hot take. Now, I'm not saying this is the team that I think will win, but I think the spicier matchup, because of what the Baltimore division has been saying about Vegas since they've entered the league, the spicier matchup might end up being the Baltimore Watchmen finally getting an opportunity to play against the Insomniacs, because there's guys on these Baltimore message boards and teams that to this day say that if the Watchmen were able to somehow beat the Nightcrawlers, that the Watchmen would have beat the original Insomniacs champions, which obviously is improvable. It's an impossibility to continue to talk that way. Well, I didn't say it was true. I was saying what is said. But the fact that is still a conversation that is had, I think the opportunity for the Watchmen to put their money where their mouths have been, it could be interesting. Now, everybody really across the league enjoys to watch what David Tender hypothetically can do, so that is obviously an interesting matchup. But I think just in the off-field kind of animosity, it would be interesting to see what a Watchmen team could do against the team that they've been calling out for in the Las Vegas Insomniacs.
That's a fact. They definitely have been calling them out.
Well, what do you think will make the more intriguing matchup, Rob? The Animals and David Tender, that bravado, or the first ever matchup of Baltimore and Las Vegas?
They're gonna call me biased, of course. Baltimore bores me. I'm kind of tired of them. It's like if they get there, can they win? If I felt like the Watchmen, like a couple seasons ago, when I felt like, oh man, the Watchmen could actually win this, it was different. Where I felt like those guys had all the chance in the world to beat anybody in the top three. I don't necessarily feel that way right now. I feel as though they're a little inconsistent. Even if they get the win today, I just feel like they're not consistent enough. They have the fire. There's no question if Baltimore is tough, if the Watchmen have what it takes, sure. But it's like they can get to the promised land, but they won't make it. And the way the Insomniacs have been playing, I wouldn't want to see them play too many teams, because I don't want to see a blowout. I don't want to see a team that's unprepared for what the Insomniacs have to bring. So in my personal opinion, no, I would not want to see the Watchmen versus the Insomniacs. I honestly wouldn't. I would prefer seeing the Insomniacs versus the Animals. 100%.
Now, I'll ask you this, Rob. Do you think that based on what we've seen, at least so far today, and maybe you can include the rest of the playoffs, but we know you weren't really tuned in 100% to the Heathens Animals with CJ at quarterback. Do the Animals show that other than their top-level performers, is the rest of their roster on the same par? And no disrespect to the Animals, are they on the same par as an Insomniacs team that has dominated this season to an extent that we may not have even ever seen in a regular season in the A7FL? Interesting question to ponder as maybe we take a break.
We'll take a brief timeout, and we'll answer that question and give you some stats and more after this. It's the A7FL playoffs. Keep staying right where you are. For one of the final times, I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. And this game is brought to you by TPG Sports. Custom athletic uniforms for athletes of all sports and ages. TPG Sports is always effort over excuses. Get your custom A7FL jersey or get custom uniforms for you, your friends, or your team at tpg-sports.com or scan the QR code today.
And so we still have David in the back looking for the right name, but I found one. If you're looking for a fresh start in your life, get the Hawks new man jersey. No?
Bobby Newman, I like that. Let's take a look at the stats at halftime. Total yards in favor of the Animals, but the passing game is where they've been thriving, along with the rushing game. The return yards, obviously, Marcellus Pack has been setting the standard, but Quani Morgan's had some solid ones. But 3 turnovers to 1. Turnover on downs, a pick. The Silk City Animals not playing the same way they did against the Watchmen earlier this season. What are the stark differences, Corey, that you've noticed in this first half, aside from the uniforms?
Offensive line play for the Animals, and I have friends over there, and I respect what they've done all season, but it's atrocious. David Tender has no ability to really get settled in and find guys with more than a couple of seconds, and when the Animals have run the ball, you see that they have the 50 yards there. Those have been on scrambles from Tender. When they decide to call a run play, they have 3 running backs that are among the best in the league: Amari Thomas, Quani Morgan, and Mike Liberty. They just got nothing. They need better blocking in the second half. And so we'll take another break here, but when we come back, second half, and we'll punch a ticket to the Final Four.
Back live with the A7FL Games of the Week. Matt Ryan joined in the infinite void by Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. After halftime, we want you to get protected. Get more protected with the Gatorskin Shiesty. Find out why and how it's so protective at GatorTech.com. Use the code A7FL25 for 10% off. That's code A7FL25. Scan the QR code now or go to G8RTech.com. IG Live will throw this one off, and it will be Marcellus Pack returning it for the Watchmen. And the man who threw it is the man who gets the tackle, stops him at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for Baltimore, Corey.
Yeah, and now here's where the real decision-making is going to start. I'm really going to be interested in seeing what the Watchmen do at quarterback moving forward in this game. And with their first drive, they come back out with Buck. And even when this Watchmen team has struggled, they continue to go quarterback for quarterback, switch on and off with each guy. And Rob has enumerated a lot of the reasons why they do so. But if one of these guys is struggling and the other is performing better, I think they all have to come together as an organization and a team and go with the hot hand. But again, they go with that jumbo package.
Pack gets the handoff on the sweep. LaPera tries to get him. No one can catch Marcellus Pack. That man is coated in oil as he slides his way to the 48. First down, Baltimore.
Yeah, and they go with the same formation that they started the game off with power running, but they utilize the speed of Pack Money on the jet motion. But they'll get 1st and 10, and they rush to the line.
The handoff fools the cameraman, and that one brings him down.
Doesn't look like a big gain there, 2 yards, maybe 3. Yeah, it's going to be 3 yards, but Dirty Dan punishing the Animals defense whenever he's given the ball. A standout rookie. Here's a replay. And he does not shy away from contact.
2nd and 8, the handoff. Again, the running game of this Baltimore Watchmen team. Completely running through that Silk City Animal defensive line. A team that has been so effective on pass coverage is getting its chin checked, Corey.
Yeah, and this is how they started the game. They came in, they have a big running back, they have the offensive line that they can push a little bit, and they go right at the Animals defense. And if you're going to get positive yards, this is a good offensive strategy to keep. But last time they were doing this, they went away from the run, and that's when their drive stalled.
The snap, the handoff, play action, the throw, and that one's incomplete. Nearly picked off, and the defensive line there sniffed out the play action and made OG Buck have to make a quick decision.
Yeah, and Buck gets the ball out so he avoids the sack, but he's off balance. And again, this is another shout out to David Tender, because when a quarterback does that, it's really hard to throw the ball accurately. That really is the difference in the quarterbacks that we've seen today. Now, Gauze has been able to throw a couple of balls pretty accurately off balance. But on 1st and 10, they go away from the run again, play action, and they don't get the yardage that has been really the calling card for this formation. But
in motion again, play action, the throw. Gets to the 30, the 30 to the 25. It's enough for a first down. Kind of did have a bit of barrel roll there, and that is the Super Saiyan Antoine Matthews. Level isn't over 9,000, a little bit more of a Napa there. Yeah. But gets enough for the first down.
And that's another one of those play calls that Buck will call 2-3 times a game, where they go with that jet motion. Defense has to react to it, and then he throws the rocket screen back. Sets it up perfectly. You could see the defensive line is looking for the sack, and now they're out of position. But credit Matthews for a guy of his size to be carrying 3 Animals defenders that far downfield.
And a teammate.
It just goes to show you that when his power level starts to increase, it may not be 9,000, but that's why he goes nuts, is to get those extra yards.
Again, the throw underneath. That's to Matthews. Matthews cannot get past the 27, and it'll be 2nd down.
They go mid-90s high school offensive coordinator, Matt, and they just flip the play and call it again if it worked. I'm not sure what the penalty is there, but it looks like Will Franklin's pointing in the directions of the Animals. But it's a very similar look. It's rocket screen again. Now,
roughing the passer is the call on the defense.
Hey, guess you'll take it, right? Guess you'll take the yardage. But
Baltimore
on that on that rocket screen, you want to make that block to seal for Matthews to get inside. But when you get free yardage like this, Baltimore's up 7 right now. Putting pressure on the Animals defense to potentially open this to a 2-score lead. Animals have to buckle down on defense.
Pack again on the double motion. Buck throws this one, caught by Pack. Tries to make something out of it, but he is brought down by LaPera after being held down by 19. It'll be second and not a lot better for the Baltimore Watchmen.
And on a first down opportunity after a really good drive, it looks like a holding call strikes again. This time the Watchmen are holding. Not sure who it's on. Credit Buck for getting the ball out there, giving his team a chance. But you see, the Animals, they locked down on that play, and every guy that had an opportunity to try to get forward had nowhere to go.
Another holding call will make this 1st and 20 for Baltimore.
Not
set up
really
at the
where you
24-yard line.
1st and 20.
They have, pardon me, on the 23. They have to get to the 3-yard line. Runs out, throws, caught. Here's an opportunity. Can he get in there?
Looks
Slip
like he did.
slide in. Twan Matthews in the tournament of power, showing up for Baltimore.
And that's the play that you could go completely Super Saiyan there. And if he had hair, it might just change color. Now, the key to this play is Buck has so much time. He wants to go downfield, doesn't like it, buys a little bit of time, and then hits the check down. And when you hit the check down in stride, you're going to give any football player a chance. And Matthews smells the end zone, puts his nose down, and makes sure his team puts 6 on the board.
Finding his way through it all. The Cybermen of the Silk City Animals defense, not enough. As the Super Saiyan Antoine Matthews gives the Watchmen a 25-12 lead. Going for one from the 5, the back stack, the throw, and that one
Caught it.
He caught it, but he caught it at. Oh, they give it to him.
They're going to give Beefy the extra point, and now the Watchmen lead 14.
It's a 2-score lead, and if you are a Silk City Animal and a fan, if you are Dan Giesling and you're watching this right now, you see the polychrome numbers, but your polychrome heart might turn into, well, tatters, monochrome tatters, as the Watchmen look to punch their ticket to Vegas. When we return, it's an untimed down. Quani Morgan, what's next? Back with the A7FL Games of the Week, Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond. And Corey, after that big play there, the Baltimore Watchmen have a sizable lead. It's a 14-point lead, 26-12. But if you expect anybody to come back from that kind of deficit and put up points, it is the Animals.
Well, and what we saw the previous week that we saw the Animals in action, it was 2 weeks ago, against the Heathens, it was a full team performance. Now, the Heathens are not the Watchmen, clearly. But in the same vein, now the Animals really came into this game, in my opinion, thinking that they were probably the favorite and with a lot of things in their minds on their side. But realistically, what was on their side? They don't have a history of winning big games deep in the playoffs, which is fine. And they also hadn't had their quarterback play a down for weeks. So really, they just have to get on the same page here and start putting points up on the board.
Morgan Runs through the first layer of defense, can't get through the other. There's a flag, and he's down at the 31. If you want to unlock the potential of your content, get it managed and get it monetized, Scene has the tools for you. See it in action at a7fl.tv and scan the QR code or go to Scene, SEEN.com. That's SEEN.com and see what it can do for you and your business. Scene. Unlock your potential. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. And Corey, with 9:57 left to go, David Tender, and one of the most talked about teams and the highest scoring offenses in the league, the Animals get another chance at it. Tender launches this one. That's caught. Big opportunity, big play, and that's another first down. That's Manny Diaz on the reception. And another
that's how it's done. Yeah, Matt, that's how it's done. Sorry, I cut you off. Obviously, I can only help myself so much. But they go with a run look, play action, but Tender just makes the pass. He throws it across his body, perfectly thrown, but it's a great in route for Manny Diaz. Good tackle to keep the touchdown off the board. But that's who the Animals need to be in the second half if they want to succeed in this game.
9:08 and counting. 1st and 10 in our third quarter. Animals started the half with the lead and the ball. Morgan in motion. He'll set up at the bottom of your screen. The snap. Tender throws this one. It's a lollipop. Somehow bobbles out of the hands of the receiver, and it will be second down. Diaz apoplectic because he thought he was open.
Yeah, and look, when you throw a ball that you give your receiver a chance, the reason it works the way that it did is when Tender releases the ball that early, the corner's head is still not turned. So it gives the advantage fully to the offensive guy, and all he has to do is come back and catch the lollipop ball. Now, it's not an easy catch because you got to stop and run back for it, but that's really what David Tender has done in situations where it doesn't look like anybody's open. He gives his receiver a chance.
On second down, Tender throws it, caught, somehow holds on to it, gets to the 28, and the Animals, Diaz, making it happen at a sheer will.
And that's why, really, when we talk about the Animals receiving core, KP might end up actually being a guy that's either among the leaders or the leader in yards and catches and all that. But it's really the go-to guy when Tender needs to make a play. It's this man climbing the ladder, catching the ball again on the in for the first down. Not an easy catch for sure, but he makes it look so.
1st and 10, Tender sees an opportunity, a flag on the play, and we'll see if we're going forward or backward.
Now, it could be offsides defense, but that's the ability that Tender has. When he has that quick rush, he climbs in the pocket and then resets to get a throw off to an open receiver, hypothetically. Now, that one didn't get completed, but it's just an amazing play.
Offsides on the defense was the call, so the Animals get a little bit of help there, and it will be 2nd and 5.
And when they're rushing that intently, Tender has to climb in that pocket. But he has the explosion when he hits that back foot that he can climb. And if you're a defensive end for the Animals, it's really a no-win situation because if you go too close to the middle of the field to kind of counteract that climb, don't let David Tender outside because that could be 6.
Have to get to the 18. 2 wide receiver set. The snap. Tender throws it, and that one swatted away. It'll be 3rd down and a flag on the play.
Not sure what the flag is, but I don't even know if the receiver was ready for the pass because it whips right by him, and the Animals are lucky that's not a turnover.
Yeah, that was a bad scene for everybody involved.
But again, as you can kind of tell.
And they'll wave the flag off.
Really,
so it'll be 3rd down.
Really, the timing that Tender is been given as a passer in the pocket, it's really just not enough for him to progress through these reads and allow for his receivers to get wide open on longer routes. So they're going to have to make that adjustment, whether they bring in an extra blocker or they start throwing quicker passes and shorter routes. The 2nd and 5.
And Tender throws this one. IG Live is a live wire, one-handed. A man who's trying to be Rookie of the Year earns another 6 and cuts the deficit with 6:50 left to go in the third. Touchdown, Silk City.
And the way that play was set up is they pin the defensive end with the wide receiver on purpose and force the rollout. And with Tender's ability to threaten the defense downfield as a runner, he's wide open on the slant flag route. I don't know whether he was doing a double move and Tender threw it earlier or he adjusted in the air. I did see a flag late, and I'm not sure it's the jostling after the play. You see here, they pin with Quani Morgan, Cal Bone, and the Watchmen react to the run action from Tender, and IG Live, as big as he is, gets lost. No one covers him downfield.
An illegal man downfield penalty. It'll be 3rd and 15.
I mean, who was did IG not?
I guess he didn't designate himself, and it will be 3rd down.
Yeah, well, that play didn't go as planned for the Animals, and it's a shame because when you take the touchdown off the board, this is the 2nd touchdown that they've taken off the board for a penalty. And Rob was talking about earlier, when you score and the refs take it away from you, just human beings, it's hard to come back from that with the same gusto in the next play. Now, credit the Renegades who did it all day earlier in the previous matchup that we saw today. But now, after what was a touchdown that would have cut it to, I believe, 8, the Animals face a 4th down as this third quarter is ticking down to not a lot of time left in this game, Matt.
Not a lot of time left at all, but the throw, and that one is swatted, and another 4 and out for the Silk City Animals as 2 touchdowns get taken back for the Animals on penalties.
Yeah, and the Manny Diaz Tender connection gets them into good position. They're moving the ball, and then all of a sudden, they get the penalty. They lose the yards. They're out of sync, and they turn the ball over. Great play from Sly Washington, kind of playing spy on Quani Morgan. Tender had him wide open, but the angle there, tough. Just needed to throw it a little bit higher for Morgan, who was sure to score if the ball got to him. But a great play defensively to give 1st and 10 for John Gauze, Ace Boogie, and the Watchmen offense.
1st and 10. The snap. Handoff. The Animals not letting this happen again. Will stop them behind the line. A loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11.
That's about as good as you can play against a run play as a defensive line. They filled every gap. They stayed in their lanes. They stayed under control and didn't over pursue. And credit Pack Money for getting as many yards as he even did, because that could have been even further loss. But this drive for the Animals defense is huge. If they go down by 3 scores in this game, that might be an early exit for the Animals from this Elite 8.
The snap, the pressure, out of reach, and it will be 3rd down.
Oh, and they just miss the timing route to Tony Toe Tap, which would have been an easy conversion for the 1st down. And now the Watchmen are put in a tough situation. Now, John Gauze is the guy that throws the more accurate passes in general. But you see the play calling, maybe a little bit left to be desired. That's where maybe OG Buck is the better option. But don't count out John Gauze, the only Baltimore quarterback to ever win a championship. And when we're in the playoffs and it matters most on 3rd down, he's going to have
3rd and 10. The throw, a moonshot, trying to punctuate it and swat it away.
Good defense.
Marcellus Pack Rob, that's a big risk right there. Huge risk, huge reward. It's a 2-score lead, but now it's 4th down, and you've got a decision to make. Do you throw it off here Do you just kind of babysit your lead, or do you get aggressive and try to put the knife in?
You're still up by 2 scores. I say you put them out there. Their offense hasn't been able to produce that well. David Tender is clearly still hurt. I don't care what nobody's talking about. Some of the throws I see that he's making, you can see there's something missing in it. Like, can he still run sometimes? Sure, but the decision making as the game is going on is starting to be a little questionable, right? And there has to be a reason for that. Mentally, there's nothing wrong with the guy. I have to assume something's wrong with him physically.
Do you put CJ in then? Is this a situation where you spare Tender and
no disrespect to
way.
CJ, but you don't. And I think putting him in unless Tender has to get carted off the field or helped off the field, CJ should just chill. Because putting him in now is saying what? All right, we're down 2 scores. CJ, help us. You're putting his back against the wall. It's almost unfair. You get what I'm saying? It's like I wouldn't want to come in a situation like that, but. That's me. I don't know. Maybe CJ's different.
When we return, David Tender and the Animals walk back to the field down 26-12 with 18:22 of football left to play. Can the Animals pull another upset, another big win out? We'll find out next. Back live, and if you need a uniform for your team, the athlete in your life, or if you just want to get yourself a custom A7 jersey, scan the QR code now or go to tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond, 311 and counting, as the melody of the Animals is less than sweet. Tender in trouble, tried to get it to IG Live. That one is incomplete. And the Animals' offensive line looked like it went on vacation a little early there, Rob.
They're reading that Tender cannot move. It's not you literally see it's almost I guess
he's doubled over.
He is, but he's not moving the way he usually moves. I had a high ankle sprain in 2014. I came back and played in that chip. I moved. To the person who doesn't know football, they think I'm just fine. I was at 75% at max.
And that lack of pliability is a big issue. 2nd and 10. Tender rolls out and is brought down. Okay. The ball's knocked loose, but they will claim him down by contact. It'll be 3rd and 15. This like Baltimore Watchmen defense looks championship ready, Rob.
Yeah, look at him. That looks like Tender to you? We know mentally nothing's shaking him. What do you think is wrong with that young man right there?
Corey, you've been in this position before as a quarterback, playing hurt.
Well, you can't give yourself. I mean, listen, he's out there, and we saw him score on the touchdown run, so he has the ability sometimes to get. That was close. To get vertical and to attack the defense with his legs. But the thing is it's just how consistently he has to immediately bail on what the play is.
3rd and 13 to throw. That's to Gonzalez. Gonzalez will get it to the 34. Continue, Corey.
I would say on 9 out of 10 offensive snaps for the Animals, whatever the play is has to be completely bailed out by whoever has the ball in their hand, whether it's the running back or the quarterback, and then they have to make something happen as it goes. That is something that David Tender can do a good amount of the time. The problem is how consistently the Animals are forcing him to do so. The Watchmen are forcing him to do so. It's not a sustainable way to get
Watchmen
yards
call
on
timeout.
offense.
You don't think it's a sustainable way?
Listen, I've been in a situation in which, very many times in my career, might I add, where you can't trust your blocking. You have to now start thinking of what is the thing that I'm going to do to make this free rusher miss. And then after, if that's successful, then who possibly could be open? And when you're having to think about that many things over and over again on a consistent basis, you get into situations in which you either miss the pass, which hasn't really happened that often for Tender today, honestly, or you throw passes that get intercepted when they probably wouldn't if you had the time to make the reads downfield. So really what it comes down to is credit the Watchmen for the relentless pressure, because it hasn't worked every single time. A lot of the times David Tender is making their pass rush look silly. And he's done that throughout his career in the 2 years where we've seen him back there. But the thing is, to have to do it for 60 minutes.
1st and 10. Tender gets the ball knocked out, and that's picked up by the Watchmen. Slip slide. It's a 3-score lead. Watch this.
It's not just that he's hurt, and maybe he is hurt. But if he had great blocking, we don't talk about his health whatsoever.
I promise you, we've watched him with the same blocking all year, with these guys not being able to put any hands on anyone. But his ability is to make people miss. Even with this, we've seen this
not
type
a touchdown.
Of pressure on Tender. Yo, we've seen that type of pressure on Tender. What does he do? Tuck and go. How did he get out of there? How did he do that? When you're not at 100% and that foot, you can't even plant it. We've seen what happened to Boobie Miles. I'm talking about the real one. You're not the same.
The real one, you mean the fake one?
The fake one /
the fictional character.
He's real. He's a real person. He's based off a real person. James, yeah, no, seriously. I'll send it to you.
I know.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah.
Holding on the defense.
Bailout.
Heavy bailout. Wow.
But the Watchmen will keep the ball. No, the Animals will get the ball back. Pardon me. Third quarter, 1:02 left to go. First down.
This is what I'll say though. He might be hurt, but tell me a player on that field that's played a full season of A7 that isn't a little bit hurt at this point in the season.
A high ankle sprain is a very different kind of hurt.
Oh,
man.
Trust me. But let's break it down. As soon as the injury happened, the same guy still stepped onto the field after it happened just moments
before. The quick
before.
screen, Tender to Morgan. Kwani Morgan breaks through. Kwani Morgan gets the first down and more, and there's a flag on the play.
And that's what he needs.
And he's going to need his friends to bail him out a little bit with yards after the catch on quick throws like that, where it doesn't matter what you have to do with your legs. And
literally
I just saw the limp.
Yeah, come on now.
I just saw the limp.
Yeah, he's hurting, and this is the same criticism I have of you. It's two parts.
I
don't want you to be hurt in the real world when you got to go through real things. I don't. And then the other thing is you're hurting your team as much as you're hurting yourself.
No, I'm not.
If CJ's out there and he can throw the ball, bro, it's time for him to go sit down.
You think with this pass rush that CJ goes in there and is effective at the quarterback position right now?
CJ's a threat at the run.
He still is
more of a threat than he is right now.
If you're taking David Tender out, what you're telling him is that you can't help us win, and I think that's a lie. Because
and
when
another
he was
flag on the defense gives the Animals a chance with 31 seconds left to go in the third. Matt Ryan's running alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond as we argue at a diner over soup. It's the Eastern Conference semifinals as the Silk City Animals are down to the Baltimore Watchmen 26-12.
And then I'll stop after this, but
Ed Lott is giving it to the refs. Wow.
Good. After he got hurt in the BIC game, he comes back onto the field, fresh injury, same one, and still threw for like 400 yards.
Because guess what? That's what you respect from him, right? That's what you expect from him. These Watchmen guys don't care about none of that. It's today.
And let's
go get him.
Let's further expound on that too, because in the Northeast, at least, right, with the top four teams that we've seen, all of them today, the separation in the separation in supremacy is razor thin. So then it comes down to what you were talking about in the previous game, the matchup. And the Renegades were built to be competitive against BIC, and the matchups at times were favoring the Renegades when we thought on paper a BIC roster with the additions that they made would be better. I think similarly, this is the type of team in the Watchmen that are a really bad matchup for the David Tender-led Animals. And listen, I'm not sure if you put in CJ that he can't do it, but tell me if you're on the sideline of the Animals wearing that jersey, who you'd rather have, this David Tender or Chris Johnson?
I'm being honestly, if you want your franchise to look good, I'm not saying give up the season. I'm just saying, listen, if you can't do it, you can't do it. Who ends up getting hurt more in the long run? If you cannot do it, you cannot do it.
The last two times we saw guys enter an end zone for the Animals, it was because of great plays from David Tender.
And
Now
let's see.
They were both called back for penalties, right?
And what does that do to you?
But what I'm saying is I don't think that it's an inability for Tender to do it. I just think that the consistency in which he's having to do this magician act, not musician, Suki. I know you get the two confused.
Magician.
The magical act that Tender
First and 10. Rolls out. Tender brought down. That's a toss over to Gonzalez. Gonzalez keeps the play alive after a long legal conversation for a moderate gain, and it will be second and short.
Yeah, because David Tender is getting touched that close one-on-one with a Watchmen defender.
How does that even happen? How does that
Look
even
like
happen?
Gochez in on the tackle.
How does that even happen? Did you see what happened?
Yeah.
He's dead to rights. That should be a 7-yard loss.
Yeah,
and then
imagine
because
if he could
David
run.
Tender, even injured, is like,
Amazing.
whatever. I'm winning
He's
on
that
this play.
amazing.
And that's why I'm keeping him in, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, you've had too much time away from the field, and you've gotten so comfortable with that feeling of fresh legs and no shoulder aches, and you don't have that weird.
I'm in constant pain, just not football pain.
Your emotional pain.
Yeah, all the time.
Emotional damage.
Mitch.
It's just.
Is that the first time we've made that reference this year?
It might be.
I struggle with making that one because I don't want to do the accent on accent.
Yeah, no, just say emotional damage. Don't say anything
Listen,
more. We
I
take a
did
look
it
at the
correctly.
replay.
I did it
Gonzalez
correctly.
making the most out of the play. And that's been the MO of this Animals offense is, yes, the play's going to break. And you guys talked about this earlier. Yes, the offensive line may collapse around them, but Tender has that escapability. It's just that injury and just look at how emphatic this pass rush is.
Yeah, injured or not, I think it's going to be tough.
No. Nah, because when he was fresh, he escaped, and everybody's looking like, how did he do that? And though everyone was fresh, now the wear and tear is starting to set in. It's starting to get more sore. You just ran a couple.
That looks like a fumble.
It definitely looks like a fumble.
And if it is, that's a really tough spot after the play that he had to make it a not negative play.
Look at this.
But there's no blocking. You don't block Calbone, and then guess who's there right afterwards is Wolverine. And then guess who's probably makes the tackle is Wolverine. Nah, he's not there. Yeah, that ball's out.
Yeah, that ball's out, man.
It's oof.
That ball's out. This isn't the same Animals we saw in the regular season. To me, it's as simple as that. It's not the same group. It's not the same.
I think that's fine to say because clearly it doesn't seem like they are because when they played this Watchmen team, it was a lot easier going for them on both sides of the ball. But, Rob, it is the same Animals team. It's all the same guys. They're not missing anybody. And if David Tender isn't healthy, he's still not missing a lot of the plays that at least the plays that he's made in this game. Been great throws to Manny Diaz on those in routes.
You see what you just said? Great throws. You are a quarterback.
What about the run? What about the run where he tiptoed up the sideline?
That was beginning of the game. As you can see, it's second half, and he's starting to temper
And the
down.
Animals will lose the ball.
Yeah, it's cooked.
It'll be first and 10 Baltimore.
And Buck comes in knowing, well, he called the play quick. I don't know if that's legal. But Buck's going to come in here, and the offense that he's going to run is not going to be specifically about any kind of highlights or about putting up more points. The main focus that OG Buck, with the football intellect that he has, he's going to be focused on that clock, and he's going to be working it. This is definitely them trying to do a Baltimore special. Nope, they didn't get away with it.
Looks like it will be a reset here. First and 10. This will be Seems it'll be the end of the third quarter. 45 minutes gone by, 15 minutes left to go before we see who will head to Vegas to play the defending back-to-back champions. Baltimore with the lead and the ball. Can Silk City find a way back? We'll find out after this. It's the A7FL playoffs. If you want to make sure you're protected on the field, get more protected with a Gator Skin Shiesty. Get 10% off using the code A7FL25. Go to GatorTech.com. Scan the QR code now. Start of the fourth quarter, the Baltimore Watchmen with a 2-score lead. Trey Baskerville flag on the field, and Baskerville tries to chase after him, and that'll be thrown to the sideline.
Well, clock doesn't stop until the 2 minutes to go in the game. We'll see what the flag is, but Buck does exactly the opposite of what I expected him to do and goes play action toss with what looked like nobody running in a route and
holding on the offense.
So listen, if you're a Silk City fan and you want some life, great way to start the drive if you're a fan of the Animals, with the Watchmen getting a 10-yard penalty to force a 1st and 20.
It is not 15:09 remaining.
That is not true, no.
14:55 remaining, 1st and 20. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond as we decide who's making their way to Las Vegas. The Insomniacs and BIC have punched their ticket. The Watchmen looking to make their way out west. The throw deep, and that one incomplete. That one dies near the 50, intended for Marlon Anderson, a.k.a. Tony Totap.
Yeah, and he's wide open, so open it's almost going to really hurt OG Buck when he walks back into this huddle. He completely missed him, and that would have been a great situation. But, the clock continues to roll, 2nd and 20. Maybe they get a rocket screen going or something. OG Buck is definitely going to go into those play calls that work for him.
Right.
But it's a shame. It's a shame in which the best offensive drives when Buck is on the field is when they go with the jumbo package and they go away from it in the most meaningful run situation they've had all day.
On 2nd and 20 to throw underneath. That one is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. That could have been way worse, Corey.
Yeah, and they go rocket screen just like I said, and it's almost like it's too predictable. But now it's 3rd and 20. So you go 1st down, play action toss, whatever. I get it. Maybe the Animals have been really aggressive on 1st down, and you were trying to catch them. But then you're first and 20, and then you go pass again. Second and 20, you go pass again. I mean, at this point, it's basically a punt unless the Animals completely lose their mind on defense and don't actually play.
In motion is Marcellus Pack. Steps up in the pocket. The throw. Deep. Tipped. Almost picked. It'll be 4th down. Another huge 3rd down stop for the Animals. Their offense hasn't been able to pick it up and get some points on the board. But, Rob, here in the later stages of this game, the Animals defense has responded.
The defense is doing it. The defense has made adjustments. They've done it. The Watchmen are not doing anything spectacular. It's just the defense is able to slow them down. But how many points are we used to the Animals having by this point in any game? By
40.
fourth quarter, 40. So if you can't, these guys have only scored 26. That's probably the lowest amount of points anybody has put up against the Animals and threatened to win. It's not. Again, their offense is just not doing it, and they have to figure something out now, fast and soon, because 12 minutes and 44 seconds left, and you're not really sure how you're going to get the ball rolling. You have to make a switch, or you have to do something.
And to be clear, it hasn't been the Animals' defense that has struggled.
No,
they've scored 6 of their own, which we forget, and they've also held the Watchmen to 26, which is respectable.
And that one will be out of bounds, but not terrible field position for Tender. It'll start him off at the 26-yard line, but turnovers have been the story of this Animals offense today. The inability to get the running game going with Kwani Morgan and Omari Thomas.
Right.
You got to know Omari Thomas is frustrated with the way things are going right now.
Well, it's been the whole anything that they try to do on offense starts with the offensive line not being able to do anything, whether it's give Tender time, whether it's give a running back a lane to run through. And at this point, it almost looks like the strategy that they're going to go with now is only 2 offensive linemen, because why have the extra man if he's not blocking anybody anyway?
That's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. They can't run because look who they have to deal with. Nick Mays, Ricardo Freeman, Freight Train, Sly Boogie. This is not some pushover defensive line now. Let's not act like these guys are some of the easiest people to block in the world. If your offensive line, which the Animals don't have a very good one, they have a decent one, but they're not very good. If you got to deal with
today,
those guys, I mean, they haven't really been very good. It's David Tender.
Yeah, but they've been good enough all season.
No, and that's my problem.
Today, they haven't.
That's my problem with the critique. That offensive line has been this way the entire time. David Tender has been amazing. It's David Tender that's the it factor, not the O-line.
I'll tell you what, the couple times we saw CJ back there, he's had plenty of time.
Tender will have to get on his bicycle on 2nd down, and he is brought down. What a play by this Baltimore defense in the 4th quarter. It'll be 3rd down.
He has less time than I've had with the Omegas.
They're pinning their ears back because they know he can't run. This is what they do to you. They are going straight after you because they know you're not going anywhere. David Tender's not a run threat right now. Look what he's doing.
He's still making guys miss, though.
He's not a threat. Okay.
2nd and 15.
Look at this.
Pardon me. It's 3rd down. The throw. Deep. Caught. How can they find a way back? Slip. Slide. Take it to the house. Don't be too cocky, Manny Diaz. Don't be too cocky. You're still in this one, though. Touchdown, Animals.
That's the adjustments I'm asking them to make. If you can't run, you must make so how is the line bad here? It's not that they're bad. They have to make adjustments for a guy that can't run.
They were very bad. Well, what they do is they roll the pocket, and whether Tender did it from the start of the play, or it was designed. Really, here's the thing: Tender may have a little bit of an injury. That's I don't know if he's out of bounds. Please don't throw it back, man.
Nah, he's cool.
But David Tender is still your best option because he could do things like this. And credit the wide receiver who starts in the slot to seal that left side for Tender to roll out. And could a quarterback throw a more perfect ball? I don't think so.
Probably not.
And look, what was a 14-point game is now an 8-point game. And if I'm the Animals, I go for 2 because if they get the 2, then they can tie with the touchdown, no extra point, and they can go for a win if they do get it.
The get back is in play, gentlemen. It is the fourth quarter. Tender throws it, tipped, and it will remain 26-18 in the fourth quarter. But with the get back in play and 11:55 left to go, Baltimore has 1 timeout and an 8-point lead. What can happen with what we have left? Let's take a look at the replay.
Well, this time they try the exact opposite look with the rollout. Doesn't work. And credit Ricardo Freeman for tipping that because I don't think it was going to be caught, but he makes sure that it doesn't. And guys, the championship points, they might end up mattering now. Even though it looked like it was over, it's far from it.
Well, that's six lost points at maximum, 3 minimum lost points for the Animals so far today. But if you want to be a part of the conversation, drop a comment, get a shout out. Download Locker Room Chat today. Scan the QR code or go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat and tell us how to do our jobs better. 3-on-1 throw-off time now. The Animals have 150 more yards, but 4 more turnovers. But they stop Marcellus Pack from going to the house. But Big Rob, again, great field position for the Watchmen. The Animals defense for the 3rd time have to have a big stop here in the fourth quarter.
And that's the thing. The Animals defense has been showing up. At this point, you're begging and asking your defense to score for you. You need a turnover that's going to lead to a quick score to keep David Tender off the field for a little longer while still putting points up on the board because you need
I thought that was going to be the last drive when Buck came out, and he all game has succeeded with that jumbo package. And then they go 3 passes and punt.
Right.
The handoff, the big bodies again for Baltimore, but they're trying to push him back, and they will stop him at the 49.
Dirty Dan, just give him the ball, get out of his way, 5-6 yards on first down, 7 yards. That's what they should have done in the last drive.
Snag Sosa out there alongside John Gauze Jr., 2 men who have been chomping at the bit, especially Snags, to make that flight to Las Vegas. 11 minutes and 6 points is what separates them from going farther than they've gone since 2023.
And what's interesting is Snags is in the blocking back position.
The snap, the handoff, the big body bounces, but Baskerville and the Animals defense push back the big man, and it will be 3rd down. Rob, that time the offensive line wasn't there for him when he needed him.
The defense is balling. Like, the defense is doing their thing. They really are. It's just 26 points should never be enough to beat a top 3-4 team. This same 26-point performance probably can't beat anyone in the top 4 right now.
Even the Renegades?
No, even the Renegades. How many points did they put up today?
That's
Not
a fair
24.
point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not enough. You have to score 40+ to beat teams.
And the handoff to Snags, and he is stopped at the 43, which is the marker. Did he get past it? Will it be 4th and 1 or will it be 1st and 10?
The adjustments have to be made, fellas. They have to be made. We can.
Oh,
we can
and it's
easily
4th and short.
Yikes! I mean, they're gonna get it though. This is a big back team. This team is a bunch
big
of
backs.
Yeah, they're a
or
bunch
big
of big
back.
You think their offensive line right now isn't chopping at the bit?
No, they gave him the first down. They gave him the first down.
Ain't no way. You trying to get somebody crushed. These big offensive linemen are chopping at the bit to go ram somebody through for 1 yard to get a first. That's a sense of pride for O-line. All I'm saying is adjustments got to be made. The defense is doing their thing. They're doing the best they could. But you asking an injured David Tender to go against Wolverine. Did they even play Wolverine last time? I doubt it.
No.
I don't remember Wolverine being there.
The handoff to Angelo Lewis Jr. Snags Sosa gets a solid gain, gets to the 36, and it'll be 2nd down.
Snags is so good, bro.
When he runs the ball, I'd say a good word is sudden.
Yo, he's so
Because
good.
what he did on that play is he rushed to the outside and then he cut back after the block. He set
Look
it
how
up,
explosive he
and then
is.
he cuts back again, and he just has all these sudden moves that get him either the space he needs to get the seam or a couple of extra yards. And
He's explosive, man.
all you have to say about a guy Snag's size is that earlier on in this drive, he was the lead blocker for Dirty Dan. So it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Snags runs like he's 225, bro.
The handoff again. Dirty Dan doing the Animals defense dirty is brought down at the 16.
And this is what I expected from Buck when he was calling plays in the previous drive.
Okay, there we go.
Right?
Thank you.
And just end the game.
Exactly.
Right?
That's so why are we playing around? Let's chew
Step
clock.
on their throats.
Let's
Go
get it
to
over with.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Give the ball to my man. His name is Dan.
Yeah, you giving these guys a chance to come back for what? Don't give them a chance. Just end it. Look at this guy. Look at this. You think him and Snags can't do this for 15 minutes? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Let them go. Let them boys cook. Y'all had enough. I don't even think I ever seen Snags fumble.
7:30 left to go. First and 10. The handoff again, but Dirty Dan will not be allowed to do more dirt. He will be stopped.
Yeah, but guess what? That's like 20 seconds of
That's
just
right.
gone.
Right.
Like, who cares? No gain? Okay. Give me that 20. That's what I need.
But the only thing
I
that
need
sucks
mines, and that clock is mines.
is what Corey's saying.
Is that English?
If Buck if Buck was doing this last possession, do you know how much time is chewed up off the clock? That's all I'm in complete agreement with Corey. Chew clock, bro. There's no reason. You let these guys score again. Now it's 18-26.
In Las Vegas, it's still 0-0. Sick with it in stealth. The throw to the end zone. Tried to get there. Did not come down with it.
Caught that?
He didn't
Did
catch
he
it.
catch that?
He ended up, it came underneath him.
Hey, bro, I'd love to see that in slow motion.
That's
Ain't
one
no
of
way.
those. That's one of those when you're playing Madden, the animation just glitches, and all of a sudden it just says it's in.
At Sloppy Madden on Instagram is probably where you'd see something like this, the broken pixels. But let's see again.
Pass interference.
No, it eats turf.
That's crazy though.
That's,
Look, if you don't call pass interference on the touchdown in the same spot, you can't call pass interference on the corner there because he has to do that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he has to. What is he supposed to do? Just let him catch it?
Listen, I call pass interference, but I'm not a ref, so.
No, you
Third
are
and 8.
not.
Snags, Sosa, and Dirty Dan set up on either side. The toss to Snags. Snags tries to snag a first down. Doesn't seem like he got there. Had to get to the 5, got to the 10. It'll be 4th and 5.
Now, this may be the biggest play on defense for the Animals all season.
Honestly.
They still got a long way to go because there's tons of field in front of them, even if they get the ball back. But they have that elusive 2-point conversion that they would have to convert to even tie this game after a touchdown.
Because you just said it. No matter what they do here, if they make them turn the ball over, the Animals are in a tie-lose situation. They can't win.
No,
right
not
now.
yet.
Yeah,
no, not
right
yet.
now, they're not in that position.
Now, if they score
tie or lose.
they score on the second play from scrimmage like they did on their last drive, they're sitting
Right.
pretty. But 4th and 5, John Gauze looking to make a play.
The pressure immediately, and Goss spins out of it. It's picked up. Trey Baskerville. Trey Baskerville steals it. Trey Baskerville, the man who drives exotic cars, is speeding down a turnpike. Touchdown, Animals. Bing, bong, bam. The Animals are back knocking on the door.
I could have sworn earlier I said that they need their defense to score touchdowns for them. I guess somebody
The
heard.
second pick 6 of the day.
Wow, bro.
That's technically backwards, so I don't want to give Gauze a fumble. Sorry, Matt. But the point is,
wow.
What a play. Trey Baskerville's arms doing him.
Bro, that might be one of the plays of the day.
Plays of the game, plays of the year.
Legit. They needed that. So, and I'm telling you, so if anybody thinks I'm wrong, or their defense is playing a lights out game against the Watchmen.
Their defense has scored as many points as their
That's
offense.
the offense. So now
This is just such a bad play from Gauze because yes, you want to force a play on fourth, so you don't want to give up, but you're throwing it backwards.
Yeah.
What are you doing now? Listen, I've seen guys in a situation where they're down on fourth down, just trying to make a play, and whatever happens, happens. But I think all the credit in the world has to go to this Animals defense that they could have quit 15 football minutes ago when
going for 2.
There it is.
The throw, and this game is tied.
Yo, are you kidding me?
No one is joking at all. Nothing's funny today, Rob.
Are you
kidding
me?
Boys, the get back is in play.
I wish this man was healthy.
Well, let's absolutely, like we said, this is
look at this,
guys.
Look at this. He steps up.
He's hurt, though.
Yes,
he's hurt.
He's 100% hurt.
So who cares? When you can do things like that, he might as well have one leg and do that.
Yeah, because that's what he's doing. Now he's a regular quarterback. Now he's
just
a
an
amputee
quarterback. He's the best amputee of all time at this point.
Is this one of the best, most controversial doubleheaders of all time? We're going to be asking that question for a while, but if you've been asking the question, what to do with my content, baby boys, baby girls, and baby others, I've got you. A7FL.tv is where you can see it in action. Seen. SEEN can manage your content with interactive AI video. Go to SEEN.com. That's SEEEN.com. And holy McGillicuddy's, baby girls. 4:45 left to go, 26 all. The get back is in play, and one of the most dangerous returners in football, Marcellus Pack Sr.
When you're losing, though, Matt?
They're tied up.
They've got to stop him behind the 20. They will get him at the 20. Marcellus Pack will find himself at the 25. So with 4:45.
No. It's Watchmen ball.
Watchmen ball, 4:45 and one timeout.
Yeah. You heard? No. Watchmen.
It's been too nuts. It's been too nuts. My heart can't
No, you're good. You're good, Corey. You're good. I promise. I promise. You're good.
I couldn't deal with that if the Watchmen lost the ball there.
You know what's funny? These are two teams that I have actually not played for, so that's interesting. Not that it matters.
You didn't play for the Animals?
No.
Oh.
Not
26 is your score. Matt Ryan, Rob Fabian, and Corey Hammond for what might be the final time with you. And this has certainly been one hell of a way to go out, boys. 4:40 and counting. The clock will stop. Official timeout. I don't know if the Watchmen burned their final timeout on that one.
Listen, and yet we still do not know how this game is going to. We don't know the conclusion of what has already been pretty bonkers.
That defense, that Animals defense is too good right now, man. If Buck can't figure out a way to get a score in, we're looking at an overtime situation. We're looking at a lot.
It has been a long day in the A7FL as the sun begins to set in Asbury Park. Whose season will have another dawn, and whose will be dragged into the eternal dusk of the offseason? OG Buck looking for one more day, one more sunrise in the A7FL. The handoff, stop behind the line.
And I'm not mad at the run, but, man, they better hold on to that ball, man.
Well, the key, in my opinion, when they've decided to run as the Watchmen, when the back weighs over 250, they've been successful. And when the back is under 250, save a couple of snags runs that have gotten a little busy, they haven't been as successful. So,
well, to be fair, Snags does carry himself like he weighs 300 pounds and is 6'9".
Yes.
Snag
empty backfield. 2nd and 9. In trouble. The throw underneath. They have a chance to keep this one going, and that's a first down. That's Aubrey Minor on the catch.
Yeah, Beefy's always there for the check down.
But the problem is they're half stepping. I'll choose my words wisely. They're half stepping on the pressure on OG Buck. Send the dogs after him. You have to. I don't know why OG Buck's not the speed demon. He run a 9.6.
About a 5'9".
About a
5'9".
He's not the speed demon. Yeah, he can make you miss, but I'd rather deal with Buck running than throwing the ball. I don't want to see Buck throwing the ball like that.
Yeah, and the differences between the two quarterbacks that when you rush Tender, healthy or not,
Yeah.
force him to make a decision. If you wait and allow Buck to make the decision that he wants, a lot of times he's going to make a good one.
You're in trouble, bro. You don't.
Season
let Buck
on the
make
line,
any
Marcellus Pack,
This is
first down,
Yeah, I don't like that
stopped
call.
behind the line.
I don't
I don't know.
like that call.
If he gets yards on that play, great. He just gets yards and maybe can break it and score. When he goes to try to reverse field when he's already standing on the side and he's wide open, that's why he got the ball. I don't know, man. But that's the thing, Matt and Rob. We as a booth are not athletic enough to have ever converted one of those plays and have been successul. So maybe we just don't have the nose for it. When did you do
I've done it.
I did once and I retired.
2014. Yeah. Go check my 2014 tapes, man. I'm nice. I was nice.
Check my 2023 tape.
You're still wearing 51, so let's be honest.
The snap. Second and 10. The throw. Deep. It's intercepted! Intercepted by the Animals! Can they get it for a third time? Will it be another one at the 40 with 2:20 left to go? Silk City and number 13, Robert Long with his second interception on the season.
Wow.
And now you put it in the quarterback's hands that's hurt. He's walking around. He's got a peg leg. He's got a hook arm. He's got a fake eye. David Tender is barely himself. But guess what? He's the guy you want with the ball in his hand.
Oh my goodness, his defense is amazing.
And this is for me. This is the end of the two quarterback system in Baltimore.
Does this just seal Robert Long as Rookie of the Year at this point?
He has He has a very valid argument, but there's a lot of solid rookies this year. I'm not saying
he's attributed. He might have won this game for the Animals.
I'm not gonna lie.
There's still a lot of time left.
It is.
I said might have. I said might have.
It's a lot of time left. Here's
2-minute warning.
Here it is. Because there's people that are.
When we return, we'll get Big Rob's point, and we will see what will happen. Will it be a Sisyphusian exhibition, or will we see magic next? Well, if you're wondering, how did we get here? Oh, sweet babies, you've missed a lot. 2 pick sixes, Baltimore's running game, a hurt David Tender, Dan Cortez. Drop a comment, get a shout out, be a part of the conversation. Download Locker Room Chat, the official chat of the A7FL. Shout out to Mrs. Palmer and everybody there. Go to a7fl.com/chat. a7fl.com/chat. David Tender, under 2 minutes, trying to secure the Animals' trip to Vegas, and that's swatted away.
Oh, no. See, there's still a lot that has to happen in this game. For
Flag on the play.
Not sure what that is about.
And there's a lot that can't happen because, dudes is at 60%. But, this is the flu game, right? It's the Jordan flu game. Just give him some Gatorade. He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
He had some bad buffet.
And it just is, what does this do to David Tender's career if he wins this game? It just makes him more legendary.
It puts him in the conversation of...
It would be his first ever playoff victory as a starter.
That is true, but one hell of a victory. Tender roller skates, throws this one, and it's in the dirt. It's third down. It's, pardon me, 2nd and 20 after the whole. It seemed like a holding call on the offense. Snags Sosa in on the defense.
And where you get a complete polar opposite of what we saw earlier today. You saw a guy in Sterry Codrington that was able to use his sidearm, his running ability, to great effect and help him win a game where his quarterback play was, for lack of a better word, abysmal.
Mark Badway had more passing touchdowns, I think, than Sterry Codrington did in a BIC game.
Maybe yards, too.
Now you're looking at David Tender, who cannot use his sidearm, who could only use his main weapon, and is still able to get it done. But you see the effects of not being able to pull out the sidearm. You get what I'm saying? It's there.
It's 0-0 still in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
2nd and 20, Tender. He rolls out, throws this one deep downfield, almost picked off, almost caught by Gonzalez, and it'll be 3rd and 20.
Yeah, and it's desperation situation.
They got to figure something out, though.
Well, they're calling plays that move the pocket now, but, you know, one benefit of moving the pocket is maybe you give Tender a couple extra seconds, but then you're asking him to run back and forth over and over again. And if you miss that seal, it's not working for him.
Nah, yeah.
Someone compared this game to the Animals and Watchmen games. The Nightcrawlers Rare Breed and Animal Watchmen games of 22 and 23.
Nah, this is just the Animals versus Watchmen.
In terms of Baltimore, having the lead and letting it fall out of their hands, making it close and contentious up to the very end. Minute 42, 3rd and 20. Tender has to throw, and it'll be knocked loose.
Ball's out and picked up.
That's a fumble. There's no way that should
100%
be
Baltimore ball.
The whistle shouldn't have been blown. He should have had an opportunity to return it.
They blew the whistle. Ball's out.
96 seconds left to go, and the defenses are the ones answering the call.
And isn't it always the guy that's not wearing a uniform that's the first to get in people's faces that are on the field? It's ridiculous.
Look at this. It's almost sad to see. Like, we know what's going on.
Ball's clearly out.
It's out. Oh, it's for sure.
And then it's picked up.
He can't even go down and pick it up. He almost looked like Cam Newton on the fumble. He just watches it. Yeah,
Cam didn't want to. Shout outs to Cam Newton, who's awesome in a lot of different ways.
Look at they grabbing his leg. I'm not going down either. Get off my leg. Get off. They blew it. These guys are upset.
Still,
you see John Kessler trying to argue for it.
Look, and here's the thing with the Watchmen. Who do you put out at the quarterback position now? Because it can't, in my opinion, you can't feel comfortable throwing Buck out there, with the game on the line with a chance to win right now after what just happened. And for Gauze, it's not like he's in sync, because when was the last time we saw him in a position where he was able to play real offense and he wasn't in a 4-minute trying to kill the clock?
Nick Mays with his 3rd sack of the day.
Yeah, I don't even know what we're watching on this replay. It was clearly a fumble. There's no forward progress stop. They didn't wrap the quarterback. There's no whistle blown. This is just ball comes out. Watchman first down. I mean, I guess we can continue to watch that replay.
And it feels like the Animals are arguing. I don't know what the call would be on their end.
So listen, they got the benefit of the doubt because there was a whistle blown almost immediately after the recovery was made. So they should be lucky that it wasn't an opportunity for a return.
Yeah, and because the Watchmen offense is out there, you see Marcel Bates out there arguing with the officials. Whistle was blown prematurely.
Now, if the whistle was blown before the ball is on the ground, they can potentially challenge the fumble, the ruling on the play that there was no fumble. But depending on when the whistle was blown, if it was blown before the ball comes out and it's just blown as soon as somebody touches David Tender, then that is not a fumble. And I don't know. There's a lot of tough, real picky, very technical calls that the refs have been put into positions to make. And I'm not saying that there hasn't been a relatively clear-cut way to try to go about these things, and it's not working out. But I will say this. They're getting their, air quotes, money's worth of calls and opportunities to make calls today.
Sick-witted first on the board in Vegas, up 8-0 against the Stealth. 136 here, tied 26 all, with 96 seconds left to go. It is nearing the top of the hour here in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. Matt Ryan joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond on a beautiful day in Asbury Park. As the sun begins to slowly set. There's been some beautiful sunsets in the area recently. And neither of these teams wanting their season to be sunset just yet. As Will Franklin and the officials, David Tender, walking back on the field with the football. And we see Nick Mays and the Watchmen defense out there.
Now,
And the ball is going back to the Animals. We will have an official word on that shortly, but the Animals get the ball back. It'll be 4th and 25 after the sack.
Now, really the biggest deal probably is the field position change, because legitimately Silk City, with the way that their offense just looked, probably does not want to go to Tender.
They're going to throw it off here, it seems. They're going to throw it away.
You have to. 4th and 25.
Yeah.
Your offense is struggling. Don't give the Watchmen a better chance.
Give your defense, which has been showing up, have them bring the pain. See what they can do.
You're just as likely to score on defense as you are on offense.
And that one is thrown out of play.
We'll see where it's spotted.
And they mark
10
it at
yards.
the 10. So 96 seconds and 90 yards is what stands between the Baltimore Watchmen and their first semifinal since 2023, where they faced off against the Tampa Nightcrawlers in the Midwest. This would be the first time either the Silk City Animals or the Baltimore Watchmen traveled out west. Next Sunday will be the first time the Trenton BIC travel out east. It will mark the first time any of the original Northeast teams will travel outside of the Eastern Time Zone for an A7FL game. So you're going to want to see that. One half of the bracket, well, two teams are decided, but none of the bracket sides are full yet. The Sick-witted in the lead, 8-0 out west, and we're tied here. The winner of this game will play the defending national champions in the first ever East-West semifinal.
And the Animals catch on to Snags trying to sneakily go over there for a Baltimore special. They caught on to it, so they're not going to work it, so they have to call real offense, 1st and 10.
The snap, pressure, thrown, caught. That'll get the first down. They'll stop the clock with 91 seconds, only 5 taken off the board. Rob, Corey, right here, right now. Baltimore's collection of multi-talented athletes is going to be the key. If there was one weapon, Rob, you would be looking for right now to be the problem solver, who would it be?
Ace. Straight up and down, Ace. Ace got to take the ball and go. Once he sees this, he has that space, or the defense is playing a little too aggressive, you find the lane, you take off. These guys are
on the ground.
Yeah, on the ground, not throwing it, not throwing it.
Oh, I think he's gonna have to throw it.
I don't think
Pack
so.
in motion. Angelo Lewis Jr. set up to the right. Animals in white, Watchmen in red. The snap. In trouble. Gets the ball knocked out, and it's picked up again by the Animals.
Wow,
Another strip
like a fumble.
fumble, and you can see the frustration on John Gauze Jr. as they get the ball knocked out again. Another emphatic play by the Silk City Animals defense, and Gauze takes his jersey off in disgust and walks off here in Asbury. What?
This is not real.
I got to see the replay, because it's a similar situation to Sterry Codrington earlier today.
No.
But does he get the ball moving forward with that sidearm? That's why.
Gauze is not that pissed over a forward throw. That's stripped. That's a strip.
That's a strip.
That is a strip. He is mad that his offensive line let him down.
Probably. I can't even tell. His offensive line let him down. Run. What are you doing? over here trying to throw it. That's why. Throw for what? Everybody's covered. It's you versus 3.
And that was Cousin Man.
That's what I thought. And listen, he's had more time than Tender has. Just look at the faces of that Watchmen team.
So what's the excuse there? There is none. That's a defense doing something to you versus Tender, who's hurt, who can't move. It's not the defense doing something to Tender. He just can't move the way he usually does.
Minute 25 left to go. Kwani Morgan in motion. Tender steps up, throws to the end zone. Cannot reach it. It'll be second down.
I'm hitting Kwani. Are you kidding me?
I mean, the decision wasn't bad. He throws to a guy that has a chance and just misses it. I mean, he faked it to Kwani. I mean, throwing it right back to him is crazy work, but it probably would work.
If we literally look back at that play, I promise you nobody was covering Kwani.
I think they should just hand the ball off there. They have
I agree.
2 timeouts.
I agree with that, too.
I don't know if they can go back to it because they just showed it.
Rob, Corey, this is an ugly stat. 8 turnovers in this game, 4 apiece. So it has been the defenses that have told the story between 2 of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, Washington's offense is not that good.
I'm talking statistically.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Timeout called by the Animals. That is their second charge timeout. They have 1 left.
I'm telling you this, though. I don't know if a lot of the fans of the games of the week that have unfortunately haven't been able to watch a lot of Insomniacs games, if they're aware of just how good that team has looked. But if you're the Insomniacs watching these 2 offenses play, you have to have confidence that your defense
You're smiling right now.
It can handle that. And then with David Tender, you know, Rob is saying his estimate is 60%. Now, I haven't given him even the credit that he's even limping. Now, I see it. But
every time you end up seeing it.
Yeah.
Booby Miles back in.
2nd and 10.
Marcel Bates in its center.
Game's still far from
Tender
over.
will keep it. David Tender will push the pile, and it'll be 3rd and 1.
Yo, that just made Corey's heart smile, I promise.
No, I wish he threw a touchdown, and then I would feel great. When I score rushing touchdowns, I'm upset at the situation.
You're insane.
What it does, though, is it gets you a manageable 3rd down. Number 1, that's important. Number 2, now instead of trying to score on every single play, look at the clock.
Because 47 seconds and counting.
It's over. Game is over.
If they score,
it's
there's
3rd and
not
4.
a lot of time for the Baltimore Watchmen.
And Bates at O-line might have been the best adjustment they could have made right now.
Tender throws up a duck, picked off in the end zone.
Wow, this game is going to be.
I'm so
this
sick
game
of this
is
game,
going
bro.
into forever.
I'm so sick of this game.
On 3rd and 4, Tender throws it off into the end zone.
I'm
that
so
was
sick
one
of this game.
Worst decisions of his career.
I'm so again, he should have hit Kwani on the first one. The second one when he ran it, that was impressive. Probably should have ran it again because they weren't expecting it. But to throw that.
Yeah. Now, what he does in situations like that, and it works, is when he throws the ball, the defense doesn't have its eyes turned around. So he's throwing to a receiver that's looking back and a defender that's not. In this situation, every defensive player has their eyes in the backfield anticipating a quick throw because of the pressure. So he either has to put the ball in a position where only his guy can catch it, or he has to do something better than that lollipop, because that was one of the worst plays I've ever seen in the history of David Tender's career.
And
there's just no chance at this point.
He was trying to get it to Kasim Perry, and Perry was getting resized for a new suit.
Well, if it was a true one-on-one, great. But guess who read the play, diagnosed it, and made the championship-type performance?
Hey, Corey,
a guy
Buck
called
back
Wolverine.
in.
Corey, you say it all the time, bro. That's one of the hardest places to score. Respectfully, it has to be a pick 6 or a fumble for 6 right here for this game to be over. It ain't got to be no offense doing it.
The snap.
Buck says, hold my football.
OG Buck, under pressure, picked up by the big man. He's got to get out of bounds, and he does with 22 seconds left to go in regulation.
How bad could that have gone, Corey? How bad could that
so
have
bad.
Man.
So bad.
Is it both offensive lines starting to get progressively tired, too?
No,
I think what it is that they've run out of plays that they can call that are going to execute themselves and work. Now what they're having to do, both sides of the football, is win above the play. I don't even know how that happened.
I don't know how he got that to Aubrey
That's
Minor.
an insane throw.
He windmilled it
That
backwards.
was even a worse decision. That's even a worse decision than what Tender just
It could have went anywhere. It went exactly where he needed it to go. Look, he's confused. He's like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know either.
Yeah, so it is second and 12, second and 14, pardon me.
They're gonna go jet act. They're running the same plays now over and over for both teams.
The snap.
That looked crazy.
Buck trying to make something happen. OG
pressure.
Buck brought down, and that'll be third down. And Trey Baskerville hitting that dance.
That might be regulation, gentlemen.
No, I don't think so.
Why would
it was a timeout called?
By the Animals, maybe. If you're Baltimore, why would you call a timeout? you're just risking potentially scoring for the Animals.
You ain't lying. This is
Do you run the clock out here? It's Texas shootout rules in the play. It's still Texas shootout rules.
I mean, if it's Texas shootout, not gonna lie, unless they put Booby Maz at the offensive line, I'll say Watchmen could get it. Watchmen get it. If that's the case, I'll say Watchmen get it.
Well, they only got.
But if it's just OG Buck though, John Gauze Jr. took his jersey off.
Nah,
I don't know if he's still in the ballpark.
That's him right there, number 7. Yeah.
I didn't see him.
He took his jersey off throwing a temper tantrum, but
he isn't. Okay.
He got in. Now he's not playing in this drive yet. Now, look, they're having a conversation as if they're going to try something here. I think the smart thing to do is to just go to overtime, because what do you have a better chance at putting up points on the board? Here on this spot on the field, or going 25 in when your defense has been able to stop the Animals whenever they get close to the end zone? Yeah, they're going to take it to the end of regulation. And gentlemen, it looks like we not only got bonus football as an appetizer, we get dessert too.
We're going to take a brief timeout. It is tied. How did we get here? A long and winding road that leads us to this door. On the other side of it, our second Eastern Conference semifinalist. It's overtime. After this, it's a Texas shootout in Asbury. Next. It is overtime in the A7FL playoffs. And here are the rules. There's a coin toss during the break. The Silk City Animals seem to start on defense. So each team starts at the 25. Each team is guaranteed one possession. You need a stop and a score to win. After 2 overtimes, Both teams, if you score, must go for a 2-point conversion. You cannot go for one after 2 overtimes, but if we get there, we get there. But right now, Baltimore will start with the ball.
The Animals are just looking for either a turnover or stop. If they get the stop, all they have to do is score. Now, if the Watchmen score, they're going to either go for 1 or 2, and then the Animals have the ability to either match or exceed with their choice in the first 2 rounds of overtime. So with the ball going in from the 25, you see the Bucks back in with that big lineup and Dirty Dan in the backfield.
The handoff. And Dirty Dan finds his way to the 10, almost gets the ball stripped out.
Yeah, and this is the best case scenario for the Watchmen is instead of having to go the full field, now they only have to get 25 yards. And what they've shown is when they've committed to running the ball with power run plays, they get a body on a body. And once Dirty Dan gets north-south, he's tough to bring down after getting a couple yards off their contact. So first and goal already in this overtime.
And it looks like we have technical difficulties in Asbury Park as we have a stall here. We've lost footage. We've lost camera in Asbury Park. We hope to have that return as soon as possible.
Yeah, so fans at home, we are working on it. But basically what you see is when we catch up back to where we were at, first and goal from the 7, if the Watchmen score, they have the option to go for 1 or 2, and then the Animals either have to match or exceed to keep this game either going or win it.
And it seems we are suffering technical difficulties. Here is where the bracket stands right here, right now, the BIC. Well, actually, that's actually one of the brackets that was actually the Eastern Conference semis. That's where we were heading into today. But right now, this is where the bracket stands, as it is BIC and Insomniacs, and the winner of these 2 games will settle things out. And we'll take a brief timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
Break. They know we're on break. One.
Back live on the A7FL Games of the Week. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. A7FL Eastern Semifinals. A 3-yard gain was all you missed. It's second and goal at the 5. A short yardage gain as we are back in action here in overtime in Asbury Park.
And there's Rob's friend, Ant Live, having a conversation. Got a little satchel situation going on.
Got a nice crossbody bag.
Satchel. Yeah. Is a crossbody bag still a satchel?
I think anything you can carry is a satchel. And a flag.
That's false start.
The offense got moving, the happy feet, and it looks like it was called. Oh, it's
No.
called on the Animals.
OG Buck is just taking it and putting it at the 1. Now, that's not the rule. It would be half the distance. There you go. Make the adjustment.
So it
Maybe
is
let the refs
second and goal from the 2.5-yard line.
You gotta love the enthusiasm in which they accepted the penalty there.
And they will send Dan the Man back in.
Yes, they do. And why
The
not?
rushing attack of Baltimore might be the reason it's on a cross-country flight a few days from now.
The Animals still have something left to say in this game. Nick Mays in the backfield, in the position where they normally have been handing it off, but now they adjust.
Second and goal. The ball, they drop it, and they lose a half a yard.
Yeah.
They're back to the 3. It'll be third and goal.
They give it to the up-back Nick Mays, who's known as the Mean Machine and is an A7FL champion, national champion. And in a situation where you think, hey, they're going to give it to the big back Dirty Dan, they try to go quick there with the up back dive, and if Mays doesn't trip there, who knows? But third and goal, big stop here needed for the Animals.
The handoff, and they stop them on third down. The big body of Nick Mays, not enough.
Listen,
and it'll be fourth and goal in overtime.
So explain to me why you wouldn't give it to the back that's been running it for fun down there. So why are we switching things up now?
Well, what I was going to say is what we do year in, year out is praise OG Buck up and down for his play calling. Just like we can also, with our eyes, see that David Tender on that previous interception, in the end of the fourth quarter, was one of the worst decisions he's ever made.
Yeah,
that is one of the worst play calls I've ever seen OG Buck make in a game that mattered. There's no reason that you do the same play back to back. Not because Nick Mays is a good player, but you lost the opportunity at the chance at surprise when you failed the first time.
Right.
Timeout called by the Animals.
Listen, this drive started sitting so pretty after the first play goes down inside the 10-yard line, handed it off to Dirty Dan. You have second and goal from the 5, and a defensive offsides gets you to the 2.5-yard line. If the Animals make this stop on fourth down, which is still going to be really difficult for them to do, this is a really tough spot. This could be a exclamation point on the statement made in this game that the Animals are not just David Tender making awesome plays. Their defense has been even more impressive than their Mr. Marketable quarterback has been in a game in which he's fought tooth and nail to try to do everything for his team.
Trey Baskerville and Robert Long might be two of the best offseason pickups we've seen for the Animals, and that's saying something.
They've been two of the biggest offseason pickups maybe ever by a team that wasn't just stacking a roster.
Yeah.
Right? Because adding Mark Bagway and Deontay Henderson and Matt Riddick to a postseason roster for BIC sounds great. But when you go from an Animals team that was giving up 80 against this Watchmen team in the playoffs last year, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, to now holding them like this and having a chance at a fourth and goal stop.
It's fourth and goal. Season on the line. The Watchmen, watch it tip into the over. The overtime continues, and the Watchmen get stopped on fourth down. Long, oh my.
Hey, bro.
Tell us.
Anybody in the locker room chat, you can call me whatever you want. The Watchmen deserve to lose. The same way them idiots who threw the ball against the Patriots deserve to lose. Why are you throwing the ball right there? You have a big back who can walk and fall those yards. What are you doing? What are you doing?
When you go second down and Nick Mays trips,
done, bro.
It is what
Nick Mays is not your running back. Put the guy there that's been doing it.
Well, when he trips on second down, it is what it is.
And 10.
On
in
third
motion.
And fourth down to call those plays.
David Tender keeps it. David Tender tosses it back, and KP walks the Animals falls into the semifinals in overtime. Kasim Perry from David Tender, the last little bit of rocket fuel, makes the Watchmen say, damn, Silk City's going to Sin City to play the Insomniacs. Watch this.
Dumb.
And just look at the audacity of an injured David Tender to run up the field and say,
hey, everybody bites because everybody's
trying to win.
Undisciplined.
And then KP is right there, Mr. Reliable. Yeah. Makes sure he's behind his quarterback and takes advantage of the opportunity to send the Watchmen down.
The call is
95.
under review.
No, it's backwards.
The three worst words in the A7FL.
It's backwards, young gentleman. All right, so let's just
look at this.
For sure make sure that it's backwards, okay? So
every
where
step
is his
he's
foot?
wincing backwards.
Catches it way behind, behind.
Backwards. Literally has to run
now,
past
did
David
he walk
Tender.
out of I think where this is what they're challenging. Did he go out of bounds before he crossed the goal line?
No, look.
Let's watch. Watch this.
Inbounds, inbounds.
Watch those toes. Very close.
So why aren't the refs moving the pylons on the inside then?
I don't know. Listen.
Are we okay? Congrats to the
It's
animals,
over.
Man.
It seems like it's all over. The handshake
blouses.
line confirms it.
Super blouses. If you don't know that reference, watch some Dave Chappelle, you uncultured swines.
We never meant to cause you any sorrow. We never meant to cause you any pain, but Baltimore Watchmen are driving under a purple sky, listening to Purple Rain, and feeling the pain inside. Morris Day and Jerome could not save them, and neither could the Super Saiyan, the Silk City Animals. It's David Tender versus Scooter Hamilton. It's Eric Schuford versus Manny Diaz. Two of the most talkative and talked about teams in the A7FL in 7 days' time. In the desert, in the city of sin, will face off to see who goes to the championship. This has been the A7FL playoffs, and if you thought this was it, oh baby, you've seen nothing yet.